You and me, we're gonna have a fight today after school. 3 o'clock in the parking lot. You try and run, I'm gonna track you down. You go to a teacher, it's only gonna get worse.
Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. Your leader in sports in the Inland Empire. Now, here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Hello again. It's a Tuesday here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports 1350 AM. I'm Jeff Gorham. He's Pep Fernandez. He's on the phone en route to a big soccer game. Pep Fernandez, how are you doing today, buddy?
Big-time high school foosball, Jeff. You know if there's a big-time high school match, I'm going to be there. I do it for the people of the Inland Empire, the 951, the 909, big-time high school soccer action. But, hey, after you thank our sponsors, I got some breaking news on this end.
That's right. We are brought to you by Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change. You'll be spoiled by their excellent customer service and great prices. Check them off of Alessandro Boulevard and Ken Sporting Goods. Ken Sporting Goods has been around for more than 40 years in the Inland Empire, taking care of all of your sporting good gear needs, plus Letterman's jackets. Check out kensportinggoods.com. And Boost Performance Training. Athletes of all levels, like me, like Pep, like Tim Hatch here, need to check out Boost Performance Training in Corona. Coach Ray Bass and his team bring experience, passion, and commitment to grooming great athletes. Check out boosttrainingsystems.com. Mention Jeff Gorham, and you'll get your first strength and speed class. It's always free. Small group sessions only, maximum of 12 athletes per class, and Catalana Motors in Corona. Buy, trade, finance a new-to-you car or truck. You have high expectations when buying a car? I do. Let Catalana Motors meet and exceed them. Committed to excellence. It's Catalana Motors, located off Temescal Canyon Road in Corona. There you go, Pep. Give us some breaking news, buddy.
Hey, Jeff, so we all know National Signing Day is coming up on February 7th. That's the traditional signing day for high school football. Now, we had that early period. It was the week before Christmas, and a couple guys in our area signed those early scholarships so they could move on and play spring ball at their respective colleges. But the real signing day is coming up on February 7th, and guess who was at Murrieta Mesa and Murrieta Valley High School today?
Herm Edwards.
Yes, Herm Edwards, the new head coach for Arizona State football, is on the path and around the Inland Empire, looking for some of the top guys in the IE. You know, ASU has this long tradition of this pipeline between the Inland Empire and Arizona State. And even though Herm Edwards is obviously a new head coach, he just came onto the job a couple months ago, he obviously knows that long tradition that the Sun Devils have with the IE. So he's stomping around the IE. He's finding guys, and of course you can't go wrong down there in the Southwestern League because there's so many big-time ballers down there. And signing day is right around the corner now, February 7th.
Yeah, you were surprised I knew that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I thought you'd be working today instead of working all your sources.
I've been working, man. I've had to study up. I'm in here with Tim Hatch. You never know what's going to happen with Tim Hatch. So I had to know my stuff going in, and I saw that Herm Edwards was here locally. I'm hoping he stops by Norte Vista just so I can get a picture with him like everyone else.
Yeah, was Herm Edwards at Novi? Did he miss you guys?
He's missed us. I'm sure maybe he'll show up, though, just to see Ken Batdorf, because everybody shows up to see Ken Batdorf.
Oh, old kitty football.
Yes. So what else is new? What game are you working today?
So we're doing big-time San Andreas League girls soccer, Indian Springs, San Gorgonio live on IEMG TV. Rialto, Jurupa Hills tied for first. San G just a point back of them. And Indian Springs having a real bounce-back season. They're still a young program, but they're on the verge of making the playoffs. So this is a pretty good matchup today. Hey, and you know what? I just got more breaking news. You want some more stuff?
I do.
My phone is blowing up as we're live here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE. So I just got word that there is a new college football conference for San Bernardino Valley College. You ready for this?
I am.
Okay, so for the next 2 years, this will be the new conference. It's going to have the traditional ones that we had from this last season, like Mount San Jacinto, San Bernardino Valley, Victor Valley was in there, College of the Desert. But now you're adding Antelope Valley and Citrus College, formerly of the Pacific Conference. So they're going to move into the conference, which was formerly known as the American Mountain Conference, although the name may change. It may stay the same. We don't know that yet. But so Antelope Valley and Citrus are now joining SVVC, COD, Victor Valley, and Mount San Jacinto in this new conference. And I'm told it's kind of similar to the old Mission Conference, like when Chafee was in there, and I think RCC was in there for a bit, and Rio Hondo was before they discontinued football. So a new conference for the next 2 years for local college football.
Now, will this conference be for just football only, or will it include basketball as well?
Just football, because what they do for football, they kind of got their own thing going on. It's kind of separate. So, for example, SBVC, they're in the Pacific Coast Athletic Conference. So all their sports, basketball, baseball, all those, they're all in the PCAC. But for football, they kind of do their own thing with the Southern California Football Association, and they put them in their own conferences. So SBVC is in the American Division and the Mountain Conference. So it sounds like the name will stay the same. We'll find out. But the big notable thing is Antelope Valley and Citrus College are now moving into the new conference.
Well, it sounds pretty good. Hey, we've got all kinds of stories brewing here in the IE. You know, we have the Blake Griffin trade was a big topic, which we're going to discuss. I know we have Santiago baseball is going to be on the show a little later, and Coach Algattas is going to also grace us with a little knowledge about that RCC, San Bernardino Valley College rivalry that's being renewed. And then we're going to have Sue Boyd she would be the assistant superintendent of the Alvord District, is going to come on and talk to us about the Women in Sport Conference put on by the Citrus Belt Athletic Directors Association, which is going to go on Monday. And we also have the All-CIF selection teams came out. So we're going to be able to go over all of these things on the Inland Sports Show today, Pep. And hopefully you can join us in our last hour.
It's going to be big time. Plus, also, hey, a live report from the Riverside Poly Arlington boys soccer game, which go ahead and cue up the Gandalf, Greg, because this is a battle for Middle Earth. Winner take all in this one.
You're telling me that Gandalf is there? There it is.
Gandalf the Grey.
You know, I talked to our good friend. I talked to our good friend Pope today about the soccer match. He's out there with Cullen today. And he says, hey, this is the best game of the year. And I said, hey, the first time they played, it was the worst game of the year. It was 80 minutes of no scoring. And he says, and I said, I don't want to hear after today's game, we had 160 minutes of zero scoring. Because that's
we better not. I want intern Cullen to come back with some goals. I need some goals.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a clear-cut winner this time. It would be really nice.
Yeah, so Cullen's going to check in at 4 o'clock, give us an update at halftime between the Bears and the Lions.
Sounds good. Well, Pep, I know you're out to do the game, but hopefully we'll hear from you in the last hour, maybe an appearance here in the studio. And good luck.
I'll be back.
Have fun on the call. We're also going to talk, maybe when you call back, we'll talk UCR basketball versus Cal Poly San Luis Obispo tomorrow night. You and I will be there.
Let's do it, too. Yeah, we'll be live from Cal Poly tomorrow. It'll be fun.
Yeah, in fact, Pep and I are going to be driving up tonight. We're going to listen to some soft music, and we're going to drive up the coast together. And then we're going to spoon later on because they only got us one giant bed in the hotel room.
Perfect.
A big spoon. Just know you're going to be the little spoon. I'm the big spoon, buddy.
Man.
Bingo!
Bingo! Yeah, baby. Well, Pep, have a good call, and we'll hear from you a little later. How about that?
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Pep. Well, Timmy Hatch is in the house. Hey, Tim, how's it going today?
Outstanding. Always a pleasure to be here with Dad Jeff.
With what?
Daddy Jeff.
Why is my daddy Jeff?
So uptight, wound like a spring.
No. You know, the house is mine right now. And Pep left the keys. I can't screw it up. Because normally I can just fly off the handle, right, Greg?
Hey, Jeff, last time Hatch was in here, he was a little bit sad, but today he seems like he just got married, had a kid, and everything. What is this big smile on your face?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get divorced? Why you look so happy?
Exactly.
No!
Blake Griffin. All I got to say.
Blake Griffin, now, are you obviously you're excited about this call, but let's give a little background here. Tim is from Detroit, Michigan, which means he's from Detroit. I mean, there's two cities in America that I consider the worst cities in America. One being Buffalo, New York. So sorry, Buffalo, New York people, if you're listening. And two, Detroit City.
I grew up, born and raised in the city of Detroit, not the suburbs anywhere, downtown near Tiger Stadium. For those listeners who know where that is, down Michigan Avenue in Trumbull. Used to ride my bike to Tiger Stadium and then go in with Punchy the usher. And
Just stop it. You don't know a guy named Punchy.
Yeah, Punchy was an usher who was a boxer and had no nose left, no cartilage.
Did he know his own name?
No.
No? He was Punchy.
My grandfather knew him, and he'd let my brother and I into the Tiger games for free. He'd just open the gate. We'd say, hey, Punchy, it's us.
Punchy.
And he'd let us in. That's right. I hear Eminem in the background. He's got my back.
No. Well, Tim, there was a big trade if you didn't hear about it last night. Obviously, you did. You're wearing your Piston shirt. Blake Griffin goes to Detroit Motor City to play for the Pistons. Is it a good trade, bad trade? Let's touch on it, and then we're going to get into it after the break.
All right, well, let's talk relatively. The Pistons have been looking for a marquee name for the last couple of years with a new owner, Tom Gores. Tom Gores is he's a California guy. I believe he's from the Malibu area, a billionaire who bought the Pistons after Oscar Davidson died. And he wanted a name. So he tried to get in on the Kyrie Irving bidding. No go. He tried to get in on the Kemba Walker bidding. No go. Then he actually tried for Al Horford. Who cared? Then finally.
You didn't like Al Horford?
No, how would that be a marquee name? Jeez. And then finally, Blake Griffin comes to town.
Okay, so we have Blake Griffin coming to town here. We have who's coming to the Clippers?
You get
Tobias Harris and Avery Bradley?
Tobias Harris was the Pistons' leading scorer, having a career year, 19 points a game, possibly a borderline all-star, a jump shooter, a good player, but he's hit his ceiling. That's as high as it's going to get, baby. And Avery Bradley, who's an expiring contract, ready to get out of town wherever he goes because he'll be a free agent at the end of the year.
Okay, now we are going to take a short break here, but when we come back, we're going to get in depth with this Clipper Piston trade. I'm going to give my views. Tim will give his, and we will see who wins this battle of wits. I think I've got it going. I think the Clippers have something up their sleeve that is going to take care of everybody.
This would be like getting in a butt-kicking contest with a one-armed or one-legged guy.
Well, we will be right back from the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports 1350 AM.
Looks like a baby. Come here, I'm gonna eat you.
your damn hands off her.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Eat them up, yum. Fish heads,
Holy fish heads, fish heads, eat them up, yum. Do you remember watching or listening to? Do you remember the show?
What was the show?
Dr. Demento.
Yes.
Sunday nights on KL or KLOS on Sunday nights from, I think it was 8 to 10, they had the Dr. Demento show. And this was one of my all-time favorites, Fish Head. And then, of course, there was Yoda. You remember Yoda?
Wait, did you eat fish head?
I've eaten fish heads before. Well, this is the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports 1350 AM as we reminisce about the old good times of radio. And speaking of old and good times, Tim Hatch is here with me. How you doing, Tim?
Outstanding. We're both old. And we had good times.
No. I'm not a senior citizen. I'm not even close, my friend.
Slightly older than you.
You're slightly means that you are a senior citizen, and I am not 50 yet.
My age is on the speed limit signs in certain places.
No, it's not. You're older than that.
Wow.
Well, hey, there was a big trade. The Clippers got rid of Blake Griffin last night, and they sent them to
The Motown, Motor City, Detroit Pistons.
Detroit Pistons. Now, you have a little bit of a history with those guys. You want to tell me a little bit about your history?
Sure. Would you like to hear about my first Piston game?
Did you? What kind of game?
Pistons.
Pistons. Okay, I thought you said something else. But okay, let's hear about your first trip to what's the name of the
Cobo Arena.
Cobo Arena.
They played in Cobo Arena.
Okay.
And I went and saw.
In 1947.
It was actually.
It was the Fort Wayne Pistons back then, though.
No, actually, it was in Detroit.
Okay.
It was right after they moved.
Okay. I remember
the starting
George
lineups.
Yardley playing?
No, he had just retired. Just retired.
Bob Lanier?
Yes, he was in there.
Bob Lanier?
He was a starter.
Who else?
Dave Bing.
Dave Bing's in the Hall of Fame, so is Bob
Chris
Lanier.
Ford.
Chris Ford, yeah, all right.
And then Al Eberhard and Curtis Rowe were the forwards.
That sounds really horrible.
That's the starting five.
Okay, tell me about this
Curtis
first game,
Rowe's
though.
a UCLA guy.
All right, just tell me your first story.
And then they played Chicago Bulls.
Artis Gilmore,
Norm Van Leer, Chet Walker, Bob Love.
God, you're an old
and Jerry Sloan.
You're an old bastard.
And the final score, Chicago 95, Detroit 94. I left ejected, my ice cream melting in my hand, my grandfather yelling at me because I didn't eat my ice cream fast enough.
Is that true?
They lost, but no, my ice cream, I ate my ice cream.
Was the score really 94-93?
95-94, excuse me.
Okay,
Yes,
that's what I'm checking you. Well, you had a good day last night. Los Angeles, though.
A good day last night?
Yeah, a good night yesterday. Oh, you're such a jerk. Okay, you get Blake Griffin. The Clippers get
not just Blake Griffin.
Hold on.
Okay,
that's who they really get. Let's talk about. They get Blake Griffin. Who do the Clippers get?
Essentially, Tobias Harris.
Okay, and who's on the trading block for the Los Angeles Clippers? None other than DeAndre Jordan and Lou Williams.
But you can't doubt the logo. Jerry West always has a plan.
Okay, Jerry West is being paid right now $4 to $5 million as a consultant. Really kind of off the books. You got rid of Doc Rivers as your general manager. He's now just your coach in name only. He did not want to do the rebuild. They're in a rebuild, my friend. I have to tell you, they're in a rebuild. They're shopping DeAndre Jordan. They're shopping Lou Williams. What do you do if you are Doc Rivers? And what do you do if you're a Clipper fan?
Well, you have to hope that Jerry West's plan come to fruition. I understand they were clearing some space for the possibility of LeBron James becoming a Clipper, but then I also heard today LeBron James said in no way, shape, or form is he interested in becoming a Clipper.
Well, you had Blake Griffin on a 5-year deal.
$170 million. $171 million.
And they were going to have to pay him $38 million the last 2 years of that contract. So they're going to get rid of a lot of money off their books. You get rid of DeAndre Jordan, you get rid of Lou Williams. You're starting from scratch.
However, there is rumors that Avery Bradley will also be put out because he is in the final year of a contract. No guarantees that he would re-sign with whoever has him at the end of the season. He came along in this trip from Boston injured. He's been hurt this year with a bad wrist. And they brought him in so he could not only be a leader defensively, but he could shoot the ball. Unfortunately, his 2-point percentage is beneath his 3-point percentage.
Okay, now you have Reggie Jackson, the point guard for the Pistons. Isn't this virtually the same team as Blake Griffin was playing with the Clippers?
Absolutely not.
How so? Andre Drummond?
Andre Drummond is a much bigger threat offensively than DeAndre Jordan. He's actually shooting 63% from the free throw line this year. Look it up.
But that's a free throws. Let's be honest.
Andre Drummond is also leading the league in rebounding, and he is scoring about 15 points a game, and he has come close to several triple-doubles in his assists this year.
Now, if you took that team now, what placers are the Pistons in right now for the playoffs?
Ninth.
Okay, they're in the same exact position as the Clippers were.
Correct.
Virtually, it's the same team. It's a poor man's version of Chris Paul.
Different kind of player.
Reggie Jackson.
Different kind of player.
A poor man's version.
Different kind of player.
Okay, so you have a big, similar to DeAndre Jordan.
Much better and younger. Only 24 years old.
And you have Blake Griffin. So you add Blake to the equation. Does that make them a better team?
Absolutely. In the East?
But does it make them able to win a championship possibly?
Yes. Luke Kennard can now play. Luke Kennard was buried behind Tobias Harris, the rookie from Duke, shooting 44% from the three-point line.
You really think, honestly, they have a shot to win the East?
Maybe.
Because it's essentially the same exact team.
Not really. Stanley?
Huh?
Time for Stanley to play, too.
From Modern Day High School?
Yes.
No.
He's healthy, finally. He got over a hip injury. He's healthy. And he and Luke Kennard will be splitting that open time from the Avery Bradley-Tobias Harris loss.
I don't know about that. I still think in 2005, this would have been a great team. It's now.
Well, Blake Griffin was still in college at 2005.
But if you took this team and it was in 2005, that was what the NBA was. The NBA now is a guard-oriented, spacing league.
Okay.
I do not see either the Clippers nor the Pistons being that spacing team.
Now, this is that Laker heart of yours talking.
Has nothing to do with the Lakers.
This jealousy. So, basically, let's just say this trade was big for Detroit because they now have a marquee name. They've been searching for a marquee name for years. Did you hear the trade they talked about before this? Tom Gores and Dan Gilbert from Cleveland were talking about trading franchises.
Well, yeah, because everybody wanted to get away from LeBron James.
Yeah.
Now, if you're the Clippers, do you bring LeBron James? Do you try to bring him into the fold in the offseason? I don't care what the reports say. Do you go after a guy like LeBron James?
You have to.
Okay.
Because of all the cap space that's open.
Okay, let's move across. Let's move over to the Lakers now a little bit. If you are the Lakers, do you try to bring in LeBron James?
You have to. Absolutely.
Even with LeVar Ball in the horizon with Lonzo Ball, which causes, because LeBron brings his own baggage with him, his own drama. Do you want both of those drama? Do you want that drama?
No, not at all.
No. So why would you even keep? What would you get rid of Lonzo to bring in LeBron?
Yes.
You would?
Yes. In a heartbeat.
Okay, who would you get rid of to bring in those other two guys? Because there's going to be two marquee franchise players on the horizon in 2019. Kawhi Leonard is going to be a free agent in 2019, but he wants out, apparently, according to a lot of sources around the league. Do you trade for him now, or do you wait for Paul George this offseason, which he said he wants to be a Laker?
Let's look back to Laker history, where I was a big fan of the Lakers because coming from Michigan, I actually was at Magic Johnson's senior year state championship game at Chrysler Arena when he defeated Brother Rice in overtime and the Kevin Smith, the point guard, who became his successor at Michigan State when he left early for the draft. I was there in Chrysler Arena when Magic and Lansing Everett won. Now, when he goes to Showtime, I became a fan. James Worthy, Byron Scott, Kareem, the Cap. Do you remember when Magic hugged?
Do I remember?
Do you remember when he hugged Kareem after that first win?
After the first win of his career?
Yes.
Of course.
Cap's like, rookie, look, we got a long way
Get off
to go.
me. Yeah, get off me. That's what exactly.
But then the Cap bought into it, and he had fun also with Magic. But the Lakers were, at that time, very forward-thinking, very aggressive in pursuing
They were
players.
progressive? They were progressive.
Forward-thinking.
That's progressive.
Okay, same thing.
There you go.
And so now, why not? Why not be forward-thinking and progressive and go after Kawhi right now?
Go after Kawhi, but you still have Lonzo Ball, and if you bring in LeBron James, you're going to have a lot of problems.
If you make a choice between Kawhi and LeBron, Kawhi. They got Kuzma. They've got. You don't like Ingram, do you?
I think Brandon Ingram is disposable. He's too skinny. He's never going to. And look, even if he gets good, by the time he's just on the cusp, you're not going to know. His first contract's going to be up, and you're going to have to pay that guy a boatload of money. Do you really want to pay somebody that hasn't proven himself? That's the problem I have with guys going in at 19 years old, because you don't know. He's 160 pounds dripping wet. He's 6'9".
Excuse me, 165.
Maybe. But would you? I have a hard time dealing with Julius Randle. I don't think he's really progressed to the point he
agreed.
Brandon Ingram, get rid of him. I like Kyle Kuzma. I think Larry Nance Jr. is disposable in that trade.
How about Jordan Clarkson?
Jordan Clarkson, yeah, you can get rid of him too.
So you can package those guys for a Kawhi,
and then you got to expect that you're going to get one of those big name free agents. You're going to get the Paul George, or you're going to get LeBron James here in the next year.
But why? Are you saying keep Lonzo?
No, I would get rid of Lonzo. If you bring in LeBron, I think you get rid of Lonzo.
But if that happens, does that not make Magic step up and say, oops, this is not the face of the franchise? Remember, that's what he said. I've even heard Jeannie Buss on the radio saying, no, he will set records. He will be one of the greatest Lakers ever.
Yeah, he might be a very good player, but if you're going to bring in LeBron, you're going to bring in that drama, and you want to compare that with a guy like LeVar, or his dad, is that LeVar, Larry Ball. Do you really, really want to have those? Does LeBron want to play with that kind of headache?
I personally would love to see LeVar Ball yell at LeBron for not passing the ball to Lonzo.
Yeah.
You're taking your shots.
I hope that LeVar and his boys stay in Lithuania the entire time. I'm tired of it. And I'm telling you now, I'm getting tired of Lonzo a little bit because he's always hurt. He hasn't proven himself as a player. He can't shoot a jump shot. And I think in this league now, if you're going to play the style of basketball like the Golden State Warriors, the Cleveland Cavs, the Boston Celtics, you've got to be able to stretch the floor and shoot the ball. And I don't see any of the Lakers able to shoot the ball.
What about Kyle Kuzma?
Kuzma is the only guy I really, really like on that team. Everyone else is disposable.
How about as a backup, Hart?
No. Trade him. Start all over. Just like the Clippers, my friend.
Are you saying blow up the franchise?
Blow up the franchise. Start over. You bring in LeBron. You bring in a Kawhi. You possibly bring in a Paul George. You have 3 franchise guys. You agree?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, hey, we'll be right back. The Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports 1350, and we will be joined by Santiago Baseball as we get into the next segment here on the Inland Sports Show.
news because a team from the Inland Empire has never done this. Joining us live on the show is the head coach at Santiago, the great Tide of Trinidad. Coach, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Coach, we're super fired up about this, that the Santiago baseball team has been handpicked to be part of the National High School Invitational. Can you put into terms what this tournament is all about and why it's so prestigious?
Well, first of all, we're definitely excited. That we had interviewed last year. They had called and basically told us we were one of the finalists last year, and we came up a little bit short. And then for us this next year, I think, based on how we did in the Boris and just, with the players we've had, they gave us a call and asked if we would be interested, and then they sent us a letter of intent, so to speak, to get in it. And we're excited for the community. We hope we represent well, and we realize this is a big deal.
We're talking with Tide of Trinidad here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. So, Coach, we're talking about the very best high school baseball teams in the entire country, and we've never had a school from the Inland Empire picked for this. What does this say just for baseball locally, and also the fact that we've got a chance to win basically the unofficial national championship? Is that correct?
Yes, it is. I mean, the fact that we are, getting noticed out here, and again, it's hopefully opening more doors for us. I mean, I'm humbled just because of my days when I started at Rancho Verde at 23 years old as a head coach, and I was telling my administration, look, I'm definitely humbled by our community and our players that we've had come through, and obviously the support we've had, and it's a big deal. I mean, to play the top schools in the country that you see, day in and day out and hear about, and to do it on the national forum, it's an exciting situation for all of us. The school's excited, we're excited, the parents, and, it's a once-in-a-lifetime dream. Unless you win it, you get invited back, and obviously you want to go there and do well.
So the process is you have to apply? Is that how it kind of works?
No, actually, you don't apply. Basically, what it is they start a list of teams all the way through, and they start looking at, who's been consistent, who they have coming back, also as well as, national players. And then they look at, is it a fit for what they need? And, like this year, the other two teams obviously are Orange Lou and Mater Dei.
So based on the success that you've had in the last couple of years and being a Division I program and how tough the Big 8 League is, did you kind of think maybe you guys had a more of a realistic shot this year? I mean, what were your expectations?
Well, yes, we definitely thought we did just because of talking to different people. And where it started to become more of a fruition for us when we were at the Boris, we played Chaminade and Huntington Beach, and, they had said, hey, you guys would be a great fit over there. And then it started coming up, and then you start meeting the USA people as you go through, and they start chatting, and they talk about what you have coming back, and they start asking around, and they start doing their homework, and it's one of those things where we were in the right place, right time, and the opportunity was there, and obviously it's worked out.
I know you have rivals here in the Inland Empire, and you battle some really good teams in the Big 8 League, and of course Division I in the CIF Southern Section playoffs. But I feel like when you have a team like Santiago going to a big time tournament like this, you kind of carry the flag for the entire Inland Empire. I mean, do you feel that kind of way, like you're kind of representing all of us? I know, again, the other teams in the Big 8 League and other rivals you have here in the IE, but when you go to something like this, you're kind of representing all of us.
I agree, and that's the first and foremost thing we talked about. I know I've mentioned with my staff, I go, this is bigger than us. I mean, we're going to keep it with us, but again, this is getting the Inland Empire out there, and we have good athletes. We have good talent in all sports, and yeah, we do feel like we're definitely representing our area, and we want to show well. We definitely want to make a name and say, hey, the kids from out there can play. And so, yeah, do we go out there thinking we're representing more than just Santiago? Absolutely, and that's what we want, and that's what's so exciting is the fact that we were honored and lucky enough to get picked for this. We definitely are going into it thinking, hey, we got a lot more at stake here, and we got to be ready to play and prepare.
Yeah, I would assume it's much more than just, hey, we're happy to be here. I think you guys are going in there thinking you've got a shot, right? I mean, you got Bryce Terang and a bunch of studs.
Absolutely. We're going in there, with the attitude that, hey, let's go in there and do our thing, and let's let the cards fly. But, I think with the fall we've had and the schedules that we have, I think we'll be prepared, and the national stage will be set, and the kids know what it's all about, and we've worked hard this fall, and hopefully things go the way they should, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, and if this National High School Invitational, if it's getting run on MLB Network. You know it's a big deal, right? If MLB Network's covering this.
Yeah, absolutely. They were telling us the games will be streamlined and whatnot, and so that'll be good. And we're actually out of school. We're still in school when we're back there the week before spring break, so the kids are excited about that. But again, it's a chance for our community to see what's out there, along with having a team that's representing our area, and that's something I know we've all strived for. We love to see teams, successful. I know our league, the coaches here have been very complimentary and wishing us luck, and they still want to beat us in league, but they're definitely going to wish us luck.
Hey, Coach, real quick, if I could circle back around to Bryce Terang real quick. He's been doing, some games and playing for Team USA. He's getting a lot of attention. People are calling him a very, very high draft pick come this upcoming spring, this summer. What makes him such a special player? And you've had a front row seat on his progression and how he's been able to improve. And he's been good for a long, long time already. And finally, he's a senior, and we're going to see the best of Bryce Terang, I feel like, this year.
Yeah, I think what the whole thing when you see him is you see him as a whole person. You get to talk to him, and I've shared this with many people. And one of the things that sticks out is we were playing Norco last year, and one of my nephew was in there who's autistic and was in the dugout, and he was really quiet and knew not to say too much in an intense moment. And as Bryce came up to bat, he took a second out of his time to realize it's just a game, and he looks over and he says, "Hey, how you liking the game?" to the young man, and he says, his name's Nico, and he says, I'm liking it a lot, but I'm supposed to not bother anybody. He goes, "It's okay, you can bother me." So he goes up homers, comes back, and he says to him, "Hey, how'd you like that, Nico?" And he says, "I loved it." He goes, "Kyle, go sit down." He goes, "No, you can hang out with me the rest of the way." He goes, "Coach won't get mad at you for chatting." And it was just kind of nice for him to, you see a huge situation like that, and yet he was able to keep it in perspective. And I think when you're around a guy like that who's been exposed to so much, you realize that he understands it and he relishes in it, but he also gets that, hey, there's going to be more days.
Well, if we needed another reason to love Bryce Terang, there's a great one right there, Coach. We love hearing when these star high school athletes have that other side to them, and so you hear this once in a while, but man, just a genuinely good person. And again, when a guy works hard and he's that kind of person, you're happy to see them have that kind of success. And when you put on the stars and stripes too, and you're representing Team USA, I mean, that's a huge deal. There's only a handful of guys that can say they've done that.
Yeah, and he's done it for 4 years, and he's, the thing about that is he's never forgotten his team back home. He was constantly reaching out and checking how the team was doing, and, he gets it. He knows he's playing for the team in the front, not the one in the back, and he's got a great family structure, and, the team has supported him. He supported the team, and it's not always about Bryce, but obviously, he's been gifted and put into a situation where opportunities are going to be there, and so he's done a good job of staying humble and including his teammates.
We're talking with Ty Trinidad, the head coach at Santiago, the baseball team. Coach, real quick as well, you've got several former Sharks making their way up to the majors or in the majors already. I'm specifically thinking about Chance Sisco, the catcher for the Baltimore Orioles. Looked like he was back home and he came to visit you. Do you like it when the guys come back and, they're still connected to the Santiago program?
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, Chance came in and visited the program. And, he was not here for very long. But he's doing great, and it's always nice for him to stop by. He's so humble. He's going to be on the opening day roster. And then Adam Hofack has been invited to big league camp with the Angels. So, you've seen some guys, working their way through, and again, representing the Riverside County and Inland Empire. So, again, it's just a nice situation to see when these guys come back and are able to share what they've learned and gone on to do.
Hey, Coach, was Chance the first Santiago player to make it to the major leagues?
Yes, he was. He's my first kid to play for me to make it to the big leagues.
And what was that like when you first heard the news? I mean, did you find out like on Twitter or maybe someone texted you? They're like, "Hey, did you hear about Chance?" Like, how did you first hear about that? And what was that feeling like knowing that?
It was. I'll be perfectly honest with you. We spoke about 45 minutes later. He called me from the team room and he says, "Coach, I'm heading up to the big league club." And I'll be honest, I was emotional. I thanked him first and foremost. I said, "Hey, you're the first big league player I've had as a coach," and what that just goes to show how tough it is to make it in my 24 years of coaching. And he called me right after he called his mom, and I tried to scramble for a ticket to flight. And he says, "Coach, don't worry about it. I mean, I get in." And I said, "Hey, I'll just sit in the far corner and just cry like a baby to see it, because it's an amazing thing to see a kid, as humble as he is, get there." And to have the success he had even when he was there this last year was just a proud moment. I guess you could call it a proud papa, but I know his dad was there as well. And, it was a great experience, and I'm happy for him, and it couldn't have happened to a better person.
So, Coach, the next question would be, when he was called up by the Orioles, did he have any games remotely on the West Coast that you might be able to get out to, or have you looked at the Orioles schedule for the upcoming season, tried to map out a game that you could get to?
Yeah, we were trying to scramble. Even his family was there, and we were going to. But next year, I'm heading down to Cooperstown, so I think we're going to try to catch. I'm going to try to catch him when they're playing the Yankees. So that'll be a nice series.
And
so hopefully he's still on. Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead, Coach.
No. I said, hey, this is when we're looking to go. He says, Coach, I hope I'm still with the club. And I said, well, I hope so too. He's so humble. He takes it one day at a time, which that's how he should.
Well, the guy can hit, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Hey, and finally, Coach, man, the season is right around the corner. Are you guys opening at Cal Baptist once again?
Yes, we are. We're opening up with Servite right away on the 27th of February at Cal Baptist.
So that's a big game right out of the gate. Do you like to play some really good teams? Obviously, you go to the Boris Classic and a bunch of those. You like to play some really good teams in non-league because you know you're going to see some of those same schools or that caliber once you get to the playoffs.
Absolutely, and that's just been my whole attitude, since we started at Santiago. In order to do the best, you got to play the best, and sometimes it's not going to go your way. But like I said, last year we opened up with them. This year we do open up with them. Then the next day we play right against Roosevelt for a league game. So we're because we had to move some games due to scheduling with the North Carolina and Boris tournament. We are playing 2 league games earlier than normal.
So the schedule's a little wacky, but it's worth it because you get to represent the Inland Empire down there at the National High School Invitational.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach de Trinidad, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us here on the Inland Sports Show. Congratulations, and we're excited to see you guys hopefully take care of some business over there on the East Coast and bring home a championship.
Absolutely. We're definitely excited. We appreciate everybody, the community supporting us, and we're going to do what we do, and hopefully things will go well for us and have a good showing.
All right. The great Ty de Trinidad, head coach at Santiago, join us here on the Inland Sports Show. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great night, guys.
You too. Coach de Trinidad, man, one of the greatest in the game. He's had some really good players go through the program. He name-dropped Adam Hofackett. It's another pitcher, former Sharks pitcher in the Angels organization. Could be coming up to the major league level. Fingers crossed, hopefully soon. He's also a CBU guy, and we've talked to Gary Adcock about the fact that they're waiting for that first Lancer to make it to the big leagues. Hofackett could be the guy, Caleb Dirks, maybe even Trevor Oakes. But I know for Santiago, they could have 2 guys in the major leagues.
Yeah, and a lot of passion from that coach right there, to, showing his love for his former players. And you could hear it in his voice that he really cares about each one of his guys. And it sounds like he's got a great program and a lot of good things to come this year for him.
Yeah, you'll find baseball head coaches, maybe more so than a lot of other sports. Football, you've got like 100 kids. If you go to Centennial, there's like 100 guys on your team. But you're a former basketball coach. You get a chance to know these guys a little bit more personal when there's not so many guys on the team.
Exactly.
Baseball coaches get really tight with their guys. It's a very unique environment inside the dugout. And like you said, you could hear that Coach de Trinidad loves his guys, takes so much pride in seeing a guy like Chance Cisco make it all the way to the major leagues as a catcher for the Baltimore Orioles. And it sounds like, from what I've been reading, he's going to be the starting backstop. Like, he's going to be the starting catcher when Baltimore opens the season.
Yeah, just to have young guys in the system, and like you said, he's been doing it since he was 23 years old as a head coach. And now look at him. He has one of the top programs in the entire nation. And young guys that are just going to learn and learn. They're going to be sponges off of him. They're going to be sponges off of his former players. And you just can see this thing getting better and better as years go by.
And again, it's a big deal if the MLB Network is carrying this tournament.
Oh, I'll be watching them.
That's a huge deal. So we have the Boris Classic, which is kind of like the unofficial state championship tournament, and now the National High School Invitational, which is basically the national championship. And again, Santiago, the first school from the Inland Empire to be invited, and we'll see if the Sharks can bring home a national title for the Inland Empire, which would be pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and he said opening the season, they're playing Servite. They have
at Cal Baptist University.
They have Mater Dei is playing in the national tournament, and Orange Lutheran as well. Yeah. So that's a pretty hefty schedule that they're playing, and they're playing some tough teams out of the Trinity League, and they've got their hands full, that's for sure.
Yeah, they bulk up because they know when they get to the playoffs, they're going to see a team like Huntington Beach one of those big-time Division I powers, so you might as well get some good action, you know what I mean? Like, go up against some really good teams because that's what you're going to see down the road come the playoffs. And again, the land of the Big Eight League is very tough as well. So their whole schedule, there's no nights off.
No.
Every single game's tough, but they're really good. That's why they do it.
Yeah, I mean, just everybody's buying into the program, and that's just evident. I mean, when you play it, you're invited to play a national tournament.
That's why I asked them, I'm like, do you apply? Like, how does it work? Is it like a credit card? You apply and you get turned down or approved? I mean, how does that work?
No, that's just invitation. That just tells you a lot of hard work, determination, and guys buying into the program. Good things happen.
All right, so best of luck to Santiago and the baseball team as they will head off to the National High School Invitational this spring. But first things first, Servite at CBU at the end of the month. Big thanks to head coach Ty to Trinidad for joining us here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports, IE 1350 AM. When we come back, we'll talk more UC Riverside basketball, and how about some high school soccer chatter as well. Big one today between Riverside Poly and Arlington. Going down. Battle for Middle Earth, Jeff.
Cullen is there.
Cullen is live on the scene. We'll hear from him when we come back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
did you do, Ray? It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Now I'm the king of the swingers, oh, the jungle VIP. I've reached the top and had to stop, and that's what's bothering me.
We are back here on the Inland Sports Show. I'm Jeff Gorham. He's Tim Hatch, and we have a special guest on the line. Who's my special guest today on the Inland Sports Show?
Hey guys, how's it going? Hey, is Tim there?
Yay, what's up, Colin?
What's up, Tim? Hey, Jeff, you'll be proud of me. I look like a true deck boy today. I've got the boat shoes on. I've got the shorts. Man, I could be swapping decks right now, but instead, I'm at Arlington versus Pauley. Serious league implications in this one, Jeff.
Hey, what's the score, my man?
Absolute barn burner. Offense everywhere. It's the kind of soccer that you love, Jeff. I mean, just offenses are going crazy. So the score at halftime is 0-0.
What the hell's going on over there, Cullen?
Hey, I tell you what, these are two powerhouse soccer programs in the IE. They're going head-to-head. You got to expect this to be just Rams locking horns. It's 0-0. Somebody's going to break through in the second half, and I'll be on Twitter letting you know who that is.
You know, they have the German twins over there at Pauley, and they haven't scored yet?
Nobody has scored yet.
Send them back home. If they are foreign exchange students, they're not getting their job done. They must score goals. I don't want to hear this 0-0 stuff. I don't want to hear 160 minutes of no scoring between these two teams over the season. That's uncalled for and very, very unprofessional.
Hey, Cullen, is it because the defensive they're all marking their men very well?
Tim, I'm really proud of you. That was a great use of soccer terminology, marking your man. Great job, Tim. Yes, the defenses are playing well. A couple great stops by the Arlington goalie at the end of the half when Pauley was pressing. We got 40 more minutes, maybe a little bit more of league soccer to break through.
Well, I'm going to say this. I don't know you, Tim Hatch, because you just used a soccer term. You are no longer my friend.
I had a great soccer coach in Michigan when I coached basketball out there. He was my freshman basketball coach. And when we played man-to-man defense, he would always yell at his players, "You're not marking your man."
He would say that?
Yeah, and I'd say, it means like guarding your man. So I learned the term that way.
Now, Cullen, are you wearing, do you have anchors on your shirts today?
No, I do not.
No anchors? But you look like you're swabbing decks. Are you picking up any chicks over there? I know you're only 18, so you can talk to those high school girls.
No, you know what? I've been watching soccer. Soccer is so riveting. I haven't really had time to look around. Because, like I said, these are two IE powerhouses, and this is can't miss soccer for sure.
I don't even know you. You just said it's can't miss or whatever you said. That's just ridiculous. Tim Hatch has a few things here he wants to say to you, though.
Now, Cullen, I've known you since earlier this year.
When he was 17.
And you did a great job. And I was wondering, how did you get your start in broadcasting wanting to do this?
Oh, gosh. Well, I think when I realized I wasn't going to get much taller than 5'10", and
but that still makes you a foot taller than Pep.
being a 5'10" high school receiver wasn't going to get me far, and so I was like, well, let's go by the life motto that those who can do and those who can't talk about it. So I decided to start talking about it. I've always been interested in the mechanics of sports broadcasting, watching sports stuff. So I just kind of started calling games on my own, watching them on TV and stuff, and then I met you, Tim, and it was rest is history.
Yes. Now, another question real quick. If you had – I listened to the Natalie saga over the last few weeks, and she missed out on a great opportunity by not jumping on your ship as we use the nautical theme. If you had $500 and a chance at a hot date like Natalie, what would you do?
Yeah, where would you take her?
That's an easy question, guys.
And it can't be Cal Baptist. It cannot be Cal Baptist buffet.
Arlington soccer game.
No, stop that. We're going to get into the inner workings of Cullen. We don't want to hear the Pauley Arlington soccer game. Tim he's probing Probe more, Tim. Probe
Trying
more.
to get to know you better.
Keep probing.
How would you treat that young lady if you were to take her out?
Paulie Arlington soccer. It doesn't get much better than that.
Have you ever heard of Las Vegas?
I don't do Paulie and Arlington play in Las Vegas? I don't know.
What if they were?
Come on, Cullen. Do it for the fans. The fans want to know. Okay, here's my quick question. Blonde or brunette?
Oh, blonde, easily.
Oh, Natalie's out the window.
Natalie. Okay, go ahead. What else you got there, Tim?
So, if you had $500, okay, let's drop that. Let's just say $200.
$200.
Would you go to the beach?
If I had $200, what's that, Tim?
And if you had a chance at a nice date with a nice girl, where would you go? The beach?
I would only go to the beach if Paulie and Arlington were playing beach soccer there.
Come on. Okay, one last question. I know I can get this out of you. This is not a big deal. Okay, here it is. You are on an island of two. You have your choice. This is like a hall pass, the hall pass list. You could choose any woman on the planet. Who would you choose to be your friend on the island?
On the island?
On the island. On the island of Poly High School. Who would be your one go-to hall pass that you said, I would like to spend a day on the island with? Who would it be?
Well, back in the day, Dawn Wells, Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island.
Are you kidding me?
Yes. No, yes, you're good. You're right on.
Dawn Wells? Are you kidding me? You went that far back. You know, I think she might be dead. Is she dead?
No, she's not.
She's still alive? Hey, if I could set you up on a date with Dawn Wells of today, would you go?
Only if it was to the Paulie Arlington soccer game.
And what if it was?
Well, we have good news and bad news, and they're both the same. You're fired.
Okay, awesome, because I got to get back to filming this league matchup, this battle for Middle Earth, as Pep likes to call it.
Oh. You know, they set me up here, right, Cullen?
Yeah.
I have the utmost respect for you as a human being and as a young man.
Thank you so much, Tim. I appreciate that.
I love you, Cullen. Enjoy your time. Give us a call back when you finally have a score or a goal or somebody gets concussed or a Band-Aid or a red card or a yellow card. Please give us a call back.
Yes.
All right, will do. You guys take care, okay?
Bye, Cullen.
Thanks, Cullen. Oh,
See ya.
He just went Dawn Wells.
Yes.
Okay,
so let's go through the characters real quick. There was Mr. and Mrs. Thurston Howell.
I like Mrs. Howell. Oh, there's Cullen just hanging up on us.
That was Lovey.
Lovey. Hello, Lovey.
There was the professor.
Okay.
There was
Marianne and Ginger.
Captain. What was the captain?
It was Skipper. It wasn't
the Skipper. What was his name? Did he have a name?
Skipper.
No, did they ever call him like?
No, his name was
We had the roll call.
Huh?
Roll call.
Roll call. Wait, hold on.
The movie star, Professor and Marianne, here on Gilligan's Island.
Okay, now let's go back to this. If you had to choose
for a long, long time,
I picked the movie star, Ginger. Ginger Grant was her name.
Mrs. Howell.
Mrs. Thurston Howell. Seriously, you go Dawn Wells?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
You go Marianne over Ginger?
Yeah, I would.
Ginger's been around the block a few times.
I know, that's why I like her.
No.
I like those kind of floozies.
No.
No? All right. Okay, you have your one. Okay, here's your hall pass. I know you're married. Who's your hall pass? If you have one, just stop banging the cup. You're driving me nuts. Okay, who's the one person that if you said, hey, your wife said, I'm going to give you this pass. Who is your hall pass?
It would have to be my wife.
No, stop. No, I don't care. Stop this. I'm giving you, it's fictitious here. I'm going to answer mine.
Let's go. Can we go ancient?
Huh?
Like when I was a teenager?
Yeah, what are you going to go? Are you going to say like, you're saying this only because your wife is going to say, well, she's 80. That's okay. Go ahead. I'll tell you mine in a minute. Mine's current. Go ahead. Come on, Nancy.
Kate Jackson, Charlie's Angels.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weak.
Whoa.
Greg, what's if you had any person
Marilyn. Marilyn Munster.
No, I want to know this. Stop talking because you're already embarrassed because you think your wife's listening. Greg, who's your number one? Your number one person in the whole world that if you had a chance to go on a date, who would it be?
Date or island?
Either on an island. The whole year. 1 year with somebody.
And I can bring them back from the past?
Any
Prime?
Yes.
1984 Apollonia.
Oh.
Yes.
Apollonia Cotero. That's a good one. That's a really good one.
About Vanity.
Nah, Vanity. She was too skinny.
Yeah.
She was way too skinny. Vanity 6, though, was a really good band. You guys want to know who mine was?
Who?
Okay, current right now. Scarlett Johansson. Woo! Scarlett Johansson's right now. Okay, overall, though, I'm going to tell you just overall. If I had my number one of all time, Pam Anderson.
No.
For a year? Are you no? Pam Anderson in her prime was phenomenal. She was beautiful.
1990?
Yeah.
Tool Time?
Yeah, before Tommy ruined her.
Tool Time?
Before, but yeah, no. Before Tommy ruined her.
She was on Tool Time.
She was ruined. He ruined her.
But she was on Tool Time.
Yeah, she has tattoos and all that stuff. But Barbed Wire. She was in Barbed Wire.
Okay, all right. Would you date one of the Borg?
One of the Borg?
There was a beautiful
Trek?
Borg. Remember there was a blonde
yeah, there was one. She was on the show.
Yes.
Yeah, I would. A 7 of 9?
Yes.
Yeah, I would go out with 7 of 9 in a heartbeat. I just went Star Trek on you. Yeah, I would. I'd go out with her. I'd be on an island with her.
How about, let's go back quick, old Star Trek, Captain Kirk. How did Captain Kirk in the old Star Trek, the show, score every time he went to a planet?
Because he's freaking the captain of the Starship Enterprise. Why would
green woman, a blue woman, a woman with tentacles?
Hey, they're fantastic. I have no problem with those women. Green, blue, purple. Do you care, Greg? No. All right. Since we got that done with Cullen, and we didn't even ask Kono. Kono, who's your hall pass?
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry. Hey, I have a Halle Berry story, guys. Okay, I'm at Disneyland a couple years ago. I'm on the monorail, and I have just Connor on the. Connor's a little guy. He's a little bitty dude, and we're on the monorail, and it's in the middle of the day on a weekday, and I'm in the car by myself, and this woman, these two ladies walk in with a daughter. And one's an older woman, and then the other I go, that's Halle Berry. And she's sitting she comes sits right by us. And Connor, my son, he has the bluest eyes ever. Does he not?
Yes.
Just super blue eyes. She leaned over and she goes, my gosh, his eyes are beautiful. And I said, just like his dad's. No joke. I kid you not. And Halle Berry started laughing, and I'm like, hey, you're pretty good in X-Men. And she started laughing. I said, I'm not going to bug you or anything. Don't worry about it. I just said you were good in X-Men. I said, if my son will go out with you, if he doesn't want to go out with you, I said I would, and she started laughing. And I said, hey, enjoy your time at Disneyland. That was about it.
Wait, do you remember when I called you from LAX because I was standing next to Robert Davi?
Robert Davi, he had pizza face.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember. He called me. Do you guys know who Robert Davi is? Robert Davi's an actor, and he was in the Goonies, the bad guy in the Goonies. Yeah, so Tim's like, I'm next to Robert Davi, and then I look up Robert Davi's like a big time singer.
No, I called and I said, hey, there's a celebrity next to me, and I can't remember who he is. So I surreptitiously took a picture.
Robert Davi.
And he was waiting for me to say something. I could tell because he was sitting right next to me, like where Jeff sat right here, and he had this bowler hat on and a nice suit, and he was waiting for his luggage to come through the carousel, and you could see he noticed I recognized him, and I never said anything because I felt like it would be weird.
Have you ever heard Robert Davi sing?
Yes, he sang in the Goonies.
But really sing.
What kind of music?
We're gonna end this segment with a little Robert Davi, I believe, just because we're able to do that. Here it is.
Okay.
As we go off to commercial, we'll be right back with a little Robert Davi, Tim's friend from LAX.
Yes.
And now the end is near.
Don't ruin Robert Davi.
And so I face that final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear.
God, I love you, Robert Davi.
I'll state my case.
Robert Davi.
Of which I'm certain.
Too bad you're an ugly man, Robert Davi, because you have the voice of an angel.
A life that's full. I traveled each and every highway.
All right, guys, we will be right back here on the smooth sounds of Robert Davi on
much
Fox
more
Sports
than this.
1350 AM.
My way.
Your mama sure does care about your schooling, son. You don't say much, do you?
at CSUN home games is a burrito from Freebirds, chicken burrito from Freebirds. Very good institution, and a very good service in terms of product. But they threw us a change-up this weekend on Saturday after the Long Beach State game. It was a barbecue chicken sandwich from Dickey's Barbecue.
Ooh. Was it
All
good?
right?
Was it fantastic?
It was pretty good. By the time I got home, it was a little cold. I had to reheat it. But you know what's good at Dickey's is the sides. They have the mac and cheese and the beans in there. Those are both very good sides. But I want to turn the page back to Thursday when we were up at UC Davis. Have you gone to Davis yet? Are you guys going to go to Davis?
We are going to go to Davis. We're at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo tomorrow. Tonight, actually, we're going to be there.
Okay. Okay.
But, yes, what about
Okay.
Davis? What should I be looking for in Davis?
Okay, Davis, the post-game meal at Davis. Now, he said it a little differently, is that the meals, while we're there, it's all, catered. It's grilled chicken and vegetables and salads, all very healthy. But the post-game meal is where we go a little crazy. They did the Beach Hut Deli.
Nice.
And my post-game meal was the Beach Bikini Sandwich. It was turkey, cream cheese, cranberry sauce, sunflower seeds, sprouts, and mayo on sliced wheat bread. And I got to tell you, Jeff, it was fantastic.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to somebody told me there's a good barbecue place at San Luis Obispo, which I'm going to take Pep to probably tonight if we get in super late, because I'm going to keep Pep up all night.
There's a good bar, but there's also, there's Gina's Pizzeria. It's right off the freeway there at Grand as you go to campus. Very good, very underrated. Good chicken parm. I always judge Italian restaurants by their chicken parm, and they do a good job on it.
Hey, Gazal, this is Tim Hatch here, subbing in for Pep Sriraches again today. Jeff told the story that traveling up to San Luis Obispo, they only booked him one room.
Just one room for Pep and I. Pep's going to be the little spoon, and I'm going to be the big spoon tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way Big West budget goes. And normally, I get my own room when I go on the road. Normally, I get my own room. But I believe, because we're going to Santa Barbara Saturday, Alan is on the trip, so I will need to I'll have a roommate again. It's hard. It's once you turn 40, Jeff, it's very hard to have a roommate you're not married to.
That's true, because I like to snore a lot and grunt, and I'm just a big sloppy human being, and Pep's like a real clean guy, if you can tell. He just looks clean. He's probably not going to enjoy me snoring.
He is, huh?
Oh my gosh, he's going to be like the odd couple.
It is. He's the Felix Unger of the group. Very much.
It's like David Spade and Chris Farley.
Bad guy in a little coat. Hey, Gazal, I know we're going to go here for a little while here. I want to know about this UCR baseball team. I know you did the game Saturday, the alumni game. How was it?
It was good. The alumni game is always fun because you talk to the players who've moved on, and a lot of guys came back. I missed Matt Andrees didn't come back this year. Not sure why. I didn't see him there. But all the other, Joseph Kelly sat with me for a little bit. Trevor Frank came up and sat down for a little bit. A bunch of guys came back, and it's always great to see because you haven't seen the guys for a while. But some of these guys who grew up playing together, a lot of them were local guys. So they grew up playing together in high school and then in college, and they haven't seen each other. So it's great to see them get together. They have the golf tournament the night before, and the night of there's a big party at Coach Smith's house. So it's a great thing to see all the alumni together. But you know what? The current Highlanders really pounded the team. It was 15-2, and they actually kind of took the foot off the brakes. These guys can hit a little bit, the current UCR Highlanders. But, of course, it was always great to see all the guys who I've covered now for almost 10 years come back and play at the Plex again.
Now, did Percy go out and throw any at all, or was he just strictly coach skipper?
Coach, yeah, he's a skipper. I'll tell you what, though, Cole looks like his dad. I mean, imagine a 6'5", 200-pound version of Troy Percival. The motion is very similar. The delivery is just kind of as smooth and, violent as when Troy was there. The highlight, I heard you guys yesterday talking about the Clash. It's going to be at San Manuel Stadium with all the local high school teams. There is a lot of local talent on UC Riverside. If you would indulge me for a moment, Jeff, I want to go down the list and so break it down for you. So Obviously, the guys are coming back. You know, A.J. Sawyer's a Temecula Valley kid. Ian Nowak is a kid from Vista Murrieta. You know, Adrian Garcia is one of the guys Troy loves. He's kind of a walk-on utility guy. He's an Arlington kid. So you got Arlington, Temecula Valley, and Vista Murrieta represented. Ryan Schmidt is a new freshman. He's out of Temecula Valley at high school. We got the 3 kids from King now. We got Nathan Webb and Dylan Orrick from King High. And then we got, obviously, Kevin West back. His father, Michael West, is the principal of King High School. So that's a pretty good 3 guys from Martin Luther King High School. Haas Quijada, who looked really sharp, by the way. Haas looked sharp. He's out of San Gregorio. He's a Highland kid. What's interesting is he pitched the first 2 innings. And usually in the first 2 innings, like, the alumni will send up their guys who are actually playing pro. I think Vince Fernandez is one of the guys that faced Haas. And Haas just kind of mowed them down, you know. After the first inning, you get a bunch of guys that haven't played in 5 years. But the first 2 innings, usually the alumni throw some guys out there who can actually hit.
Yeah, and I know that Coach Percival has, I think they were ranked 23rd in the nation as far as the recruiting class going into the season. And like you said, peppered with a lot of local guys. Yeah. How's that starting rotation looking? Has Percy talked at all about it?
The first 3, you know, I didn't really talk. I kind of let him kind of have his day. We'll talk soon. It looked like the first 3 guys were Quijada, Toplicar, and Cole. Will probably be the first 3 guys out. They're going to play a couple of 4-game series. So Kevin West, I would think, figures into that as well. But let me continue to run down. There's a couple other guys. So Dean Miller from your alma mater, Ramona High School, joins the team. He actually spent the last 2 years at RCC, but he's going to play. He played out in left field. Yeager Taylor from Hemet High. I expect a big year from YT. He's a Hemet kid. He had a really promising freshman year. Then I think last year he was kind of battling injuries. And he's a little snake bit. He was the kid, remember, hit the home run against Fresno State and passed the guy at first base and got called out?
Yes.
So it kind of, then he pulled his hamstring and it was never really the same for him. Yeah. How about Cole Pofek from 3rd in Chicago, John W. North High School? Pofek is back. Matt Hardy from La Sierra High School. New freshman Jeremiah Pretty, Corona High. Robert Cruz, Arrowhead Christian. I mentioned Cole Purcell from Poly. Jared Morton, his senior year, he's a Temecula Valley kid. And then, of course, a great baseball name, Connor Cannon, Riverside kid, started his career at Vista Murrieta, ended up at Temecula Valley. He's going to hit and pitch this year. So look out for the Highlanders. They look good.
Does Connor Cannon still have the flow like last year? Remember he had that
Yes, he cut it off late. He cut it off. I think by the time the season goes, he'll have that Fundar flow going. Yes, he will.
Yes, he did look like Fundar the Barbarian last year. I went to a game. I said, look at that guy. That guy's a stud. And I was thinking to myself, I was proud to have my son named Connor because I saw that man out there in the field. Yeah. And like you said, a grown man, Fundar the Barbarian.
There you go. Yeah, no, I forgot you have a. By the way, happy birthday, Johnny Gorham.
Yeah, Big Johnny's 5 now. So, it's crazy. We're gonna have this Super Bowl party, and we only have.
I won't be able to make the party.
Come on. So I have another. No one's RSVP'd except.
Sorry, I won't be able to make it.
All I can say is the only person that RSVP'd was Jillian, his little girlfriend from kindergarten. That's it.
Ooh, okay.
So it's going to be like a one-on-one date.
How about, is Tim Hatch going to be there, though? That's the question.
Tim Hatch was not invited. Oh!
He didn't get an invitation.
No, I can't let Tim in my house anymore.
Yes, I've been in there a few times.
Yeah, because, you know, he always flirts with my wife. He's always talking to her, and he goes into my fridge, steals all of my food. He goes and lays on my bed and rolls around.
What is Su Casa supposed to mean?
And he jumps in my pool and he's like wearing pants. He's just a weirdo. You know, even though
I do try on his sweats.
Yeah. But you know, he's been at the Stately Gorham Manor. Our man John Ramey has been swimming in the Stately Gorham Manor. We need to get Ghazal Hassan at the Stately Gorham Manor swimming. Yeah, I got a hot tub too for you, buddy.
That's kind of, you know, Ramey says kind of his fortress of solitude. He gets away from everything at Stately Gorham Manor.
It is the best.
He was really excited about it when he told me about it.
It is Shangri-La. In fact, we built this backyard just so that we never have to leave in the summertime. And it is. I just go in the backyard and meditate all day long and swim.
Matter of fact, he never leaves the pool, even to go to the bathroom.
Nope. If there's whoa, Tim Hatch. Well, Gazal, when do the Highlanders open up? I know we're running up against the time here, but they've got a pretty tough schedule coming up.
They open in Arizona at Tempe Diablo Stadium February 16th. Hopefully, we'll have some details for you. We have those games on GoHighlanders.com. We will have about 30 to 35 games on GoHighlanders.com. Home opener February 27th against UNLV. It's a Tuesday, a 3 o'clock. It's a day game, so leave school early. Come on out, and then the home series opener is that weekend of March 2nd against San Francisco. So come on out to the Plex. 951-827-4653. Get your tickets now. It's really, you've been there, Jeff. It's a fun place. They got good food. They got good stuff going on out there. It's a great atmosphere for the kids and one of the most picturesque parks in the Big West.
Yeah, it is one of the best places to watch a baseball game, and it's always nice to hear the ping of an aluminum bat, hanging out in the sun, having a hot dog, and listening to Ghazal Hassan on GoHighlanders.com. Before we get off the phone with you, where are the Northridge Matadors this week?
Home game Thursday. It's a rematch with UC Davis. And then on the road to Santa Barbara for Saturday. So it should be fun. I'm looking forward to the food selections on both nights.
Oh, it's going to be a good one. I'm telling you, if you get the big sandwich at Santa Barbara, you're going to love it. But I'll tell you what, Ghazal, good luck to the Matadors. We look forward once again to hear you on the UC Riverside broadcasts. And we will check in with you next week with a nice Big West report, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely. Hey, have fun in San Luis Obispo. It's a great place up there. Say hi. My buddy Owen Main is up there. He's fansmanship on Twitter. He'll probably be at the game. And you'll get a treat because Joshua D. Scroggin, blogging with Scroggin, he left Cal Poly to get a real job where they actually pay him. He'll be covering the game on Thursday, so you will see him there.
Well, thank you very much. That's Ghazal Hassan of the Matadors and the Highlanders. And we will be right back on Fox Sports 1350 AM.
You're naughty. And then I take my naughty pet and I go. Oh! I killed it! I killed my sail!
That's when I blow it. That's when people like us have got to forge ahead, Helen.
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the Inland Sports Show.
So you talk to the radio?
On Fox Sports IE 1350 for breaking news, exclusive interviews, and big-name guests in the IE.
Whether you're making updates to existing properties or building new construction, Lowe's has savings for pros. Get up to 30% off appliance special values, including great brands like GE. That's up to 30% off washers, dryers, refrigerators, and more. Plus, save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit account. See the Lowe's Pro Desk for more details. Appliance offer valid 1/25 through 2/7. Credit offer subject to credit approval.
kind of come together. We have a certain goal and a certain mindset, and when we all sat down and interviewed, we hit it off right away, and we brought those guys in just because they were a fit with our personality, guys that can't live a minute without thinking about this, and so those are the players we're looking for, that are looking for, you know, absolute dedication and absolute dominance, and that's what we're asking for our guys right now.
Now, here in your office, where a lot of the coaches and players like to hang out, I'm looking around. I see a book on the Handbook of Knots.
Yes.
And is that Homer's Odyssey, or there's something going on over there?
Those are the Roman Caesars. I have the Iliad and the Odyssey, the book set back here. But no, like that. No, on the table we have more picture books, things like that. There's a book of useless information right there. That's the title of it. So we like to put things out while some of the players are waiting for me. Maybe they can learn a couple of different things.
Man, get smart. You've also got the it's like board games.
Yeah.
You got a Rubik's Cube behind you. Get the brain going, right?
Yeah, get the brain going, get some competition going. We have a custom cornhole set that we're waiting to come in. But we have a game room, a players' lounge. We just want everybody to come together. We're really trying to promote the family atmosphere. And when you get in the fourth quarter, you want to be there with your brothers. And so just everything that we do, we want to compete in and do together and really be a family. There's no reason that we need to come to junior college to just be the 1 or 2 years that are forgotten in our life. And so we want to make this an enjoyable experience, a lot like a lot of people say. High school is the greatest time of my life. We want to bring back that family atmosphere to here and do this thing together.
Give them a place to hang out on campus, right? Like before practice or in between classes, come over here and play a great game of Sorry, right? Yes. Or read about knots, or
yeah. My favorite game is Clue, so we need to order that one.
Oh yeah.
But Trivial Pursuit is pretty good. So we're gonna go.
You like that the useful like little tidbits of knowledge that you'd need, right, to win Trivial Pursuit?
Absolutely, yeah. No, if it doesn't matter, I probably know it. So.
But you seriously, but you like to get your guys' minds working, right? Cerebral guys, smart guys, problem-solving guys.
Yeah, we want to get them in the frame of mind to do well on the field, also in the classroom, things like that. And we just want to promote the image that being smart is cool. So.
Speaking of being smart, so you got two quarterbacks, Armando Herrera, who we saw last year out of Redlands East Valley, Cade Sparks, former Summit High School guy, went to Indiana State. He's bounced back. He's here at Valley College now. They both got Rubik's Cubes for Christmas, which I know the Rubik's is very close to your heart.
Yes.
Well, how did that happen? Did you tell them to go get Rubik's Cubes, or it just kind of happened?
Organically happened.
Okay.
They told me about it, so we got to get them on from Rubik's Cubes to speed cubing and get going. But no, it's nice. You get to see a pattern develop, and then you solve the problem. It's a very prescriptive process trying to get through it. So we got to teach them the moves to that, or when we see this, we do that on the field. But it's a good parallel, and it's always a good fun party trick as well.
So it's not going to be like, hey, Armando, you're not starting unless you can get that Rubik's Cube solved.
No, we'll definitely solve arguments with darts and Rubik's Cube timing and things like that. These guys are competitors. I think that's why they're so great. So, why not?
I'm looking over there. You have a book on HTML. Is that coding, I guess?
It is, yeah. It's HTML5. It's an old reference book that I have. I like to just have it there to go back to. I design a lot of the software, the custom software that we use here. So I just do it myself. So I have quite a few software books on the shelf.
Look at you. Well, I'm just curious as I'm picking apart your office in here. Talent is Overrated. That's another book that's sitting over here on your cabinet. Have you read through that one?
I have. No, you know what? If talent wasn't overrated, then we probably wouldn't need coaches. You probably just whoever had the best players would win every game. So, so we read through that one, kind of shared some tidbits and intertwined some of that stuff in what we're doing. But it goes back to a lot of our things that we put on our Twitter about hard work. So there really isn't an excuse to not be strong, and the weight room is a place that doesn't really take any talent to be great at. So there's a lot of phases of our program that hard workers are going to get further ahead than guys with talent.
From Bill Walsh to Plato, the philosopher. There it is.
Yes.
You have everything in between on your bookshelf. Obviously, you said you like your guys to hang out here, get the mind going. This is January. I know it feels like summer, but it's January here in Southern California. What are you doing right now to get ready for, let's assume it's going to be RCC, that first game?
Yeah, you know, we go out, we warm up, we send them through the stairs on a nice little warm up. We do some team conditioning, and then we're working out. And then they have some homework through our football software. They're going through football school right now, so they're learning basic terminology, basic football skills, and things that are building blocks. So that when when we're talking to them and talking about bigger concepts, and then when they move on to bigger and better things, they understand the basics of football, and whether they already knew it because their high school coaches taught them that, or they came back from Division I. We just want to make sure we're all on the same page. So right now they're going on a 10-day curriculum of football school that's all done through our Just Play software solution online, and then we start feeding them some of our materials that we need for our first couple mini camps before we get into spring ball.
We're talking with San Bernardino Valley College head football coach Daniel Algattas here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We mentioned Cade Sparks, former Summit High School quarterback. He was D1 at Indiana State, the Sycamores, right?
Yeah,
Is it Sycamores?
Sycamores.
What's he meant to this program as he's coming back? I know he just got here. He's the new kid on the block. But I remember him from Summit, big, tall. He reminded me of Peyton Manning, a pure pocket passer. What has he meant to be an addition, I guess you would say, to the Wolverines team?
Absolutely. You know, when we bring in guys, we're looking for a certain mold, especially at the quarterback position. Just like we have with Armando, Cade's also just a great leader, a ferocious competitor. And then we look at the skill set and say, does that fit within our offense? And then we customize the offense based on the personnel we have. I think most coaches will tell you they do that. So I mean, that's what we like to drop back. We like to throw the ball, do those things. If you were mobile, we do more mobile things. And then we look for players to surround them to do those things. But with the receivers that we have coming back and the receivers that we have coming in. Dropping back and throwing the ball is something that we can still do from time to time, as well as run the ball and play action. So, but we like to throw the ball and get the ball to as many guys as possible and help them get as many scholarships as possible out of this program.
Yeah, speaking of those receivers and some of the new ones that you were alluding to, C.J. Harris, a Redlands East Valley guy, Tyrone Gassaway. I believe he's at, University of Idaho, the Vandals? Does that sound right?
He went to Chaffee.
Or Chaffee. Oh, he did? Okay. I think he might have signed with them out of high school. But anyways, Gassaway, C.J. Harris, just a couple of the new guys that are coming into San Bernardino Valley College. This is kind of like a local all-star team. When you start going down the roster, do you kind of feel the same way?
Yeah, and that was the idea. Every year when we put this thing together, we want to put together the best guys from the San Bernardino area and surrounding areas, and just have them stay home, play in front of a large home crowd, and try to win one game every week. So we really like those guys. They can take the top off, and with a healthy Jared Favors coming back, and Elijah Smith, who's really fast, who can move, and then also adding Xavier Marshall, who's ready to go from Centennial. Those are some good receivers that are coming in for their first year of competition, going back with some of the All-State guys that we had last year. So it'll be a good mix.
And on the defensive side of the football, the name that jumps out at me is because we covered Notre Dame pretty hard in Riverside, and Wes Smith, who played for Derek Johnson and helped them win a CIF Southern Section Championship. He was at APU. Was that correct?
He was at APU and spent last year at Riverside, and so he's here with us now. And then when we added Coach Johnson thereafter, it's going to be a great reunion. So he's a great athlete to be used on the defensive side of the ball. He's also a really good leader. Leads by example, and from day one, just has been doing everything that we ask. So we have a plan for every player that we bring in, and so he's working hard and putting in extra time and calling and texting and making sure he's doing everything. A lot of these older guys, as C.J. Harris or Aaron House that are coming back. It's their second school. They know how to register. They're doing everything ahead of time. They're being leaders. They're being vocal, and they understand that junior college is a no excuses business. Is a last chance. And now that they're at the place that they like, they've tried other places, and now they're here. They want to do it the right way.
So this is your second year as the head coach. How has it changed going in from your first year to your second year as the head coach, other than maybe your office is set up prior to, even though it's a little messy, but it's okay. But I mean, how are things different maybe from your first year coming on board and then now?
We really get to, more than anything, install the culture of what we're trying to do. And it really is about hard work. At the last couple places that I was at, the biggest difference between there and anywhere else is that there is no clock on success, and you're not done until the task is done. It doesn't hit 4 o'clock and coach, we're out of here kind of thing. And so same thing, like we're saying this year, is we want absolute dedication and absolute dominance out of everything that we do, and anything in between is just not going to work. Attendance, being there every day. This is your full-time job. And sometimes when you're in junior college, you have to have 2 or 3 full-time jobs. But that's why we're given 24 hours a day, and we try to work every single one of them as coaches. And we're just teaching players how to be efficient with their time, responsible, and know how to have different duties. They're going to have a family and a job and interest to balance later on in life. And so that's what we're working on right now, is getting all that done. And so we absolutely love the attitude of the team so far, and how they're working together and doing things as a team, whether it's board games or stretch or going to the locker room and waiting for the last person to come out and making sure everybody's held accountable, things like that. So a lot of things that you might have in a real tight-knit, close high school team, or a real tight-knit, very organized Division I college team, things like that, we're bringing back to this level, and we're hammering it home with 11 to 12 coaches that are all about it all day.
Finally, Coach, going back to last year as your first year as a head coach, I know you've coached a lot of different places at a lot of different levels, but being a head coach at the junior college level, what are some things that you learned on the job? Like, you were thrown into the fire and you were in mid-season, you're like, okay, this is working, this is not working, things that you can take away and build on for year 2.
Well, I've been at the junior college level for about 10 years now, so a lot of the on-the-field stuff, not so much of an adjustment, but every college has its own policies and procedures for classes. So it's really been the support staff, supporting the kids off the field. That's been an adjustment. If you're going to ask me about another school, how do you late ad, how do you do those things? And so to really take care of that, we've hired our first director of football operations, first one here in California, where that's his only job, is to be director of football operations. So he's going to really focus on high school relations and on student success, and so he's putting together some real life skills. So I know these kids are going to graduate and know the Pythagorean theorem, but they won't know how to buy a car or how to buy a house or do their taxes or what credit is. And so he's the one who's set up all of those things, and he's really working through that. And he's a Valley alumni. Eric Sanchez played here almost 20 years ago and earned a scholarship, and so he's back after spending some time down at Southwestern in Chula Vista, a former conference foe, and so we've stolen him and brought him back. I actually met him when he was the academic counselor for the football team at UCLA. So very well-rounded past, very passionate about Valley, very passionate about students and student success. So anything that we can add to help out these students getting through school, off the field, it all comes back to football and getting them to be a more well-rounded package. So when they leave here, they're better than when they came in.
Coach Algattas, we always appreciate the time, and whenever you add some new names to this list that's in front of us, let us know, because that's like a Inland Empire All-Star team over here. That's pretty exciting.
We'll be getting our visits going with our high school kids and getting those guys in. There's a lot of opportunities for them to start and play right away and develop and get those scholarships that everybody's talking about. So hopefully we do expand the list and get a full team.
Okay, one more question.
Sure.
Because you know what, like maybe you wait for the kids to enroll in the fall, and like you're like, I'm not sure who's going to be here, and you go to fall training camp, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this guy's coming out for the football team. Yeah. Do you always get one or two of those guys that you didn't see coming, and they roll in the fall, and they're here right before football season kicks off?
No, it happens.
Yeah.
You don't like that it happens at the last second, but it's better late than never. But we're really pushing for guys to be here at spring ball and to commit after signing day if they don't get what they want to be out here in spring ball. But we've another school I was at, we had Alfonso Boone, who just walked out, and he ended up getting drafted to the Dolphins straight out of junior college. We had Bruce Irvin, who's on the Raiders, said, Hey, I just got off a plane and I'm here. Can I play football? And so when guys that are 6'5", 6'6", and run 4.3, 4.4, 40s,
you find room for them, right?
Yeah, we try to. So they earn their way and they get going. But It'll happen. Somebody will decide that this is the best place for them, and that's what we're here for.
All right. Well, if that's you, there's a book about knots waiting for you if you're still looking to jump on board.
Yeah.
And plenty of board games. All right, Valley coach Daniel Algattas here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We will be right back.
This bumper's gonna go on the wall of my garage, carnal. I'm gonna put a little sign under it. It's gonna say, "This bumper was pulled off by the bus."
didn't you pump any gas?
They're all out. They only got diesel. Better go to the next station. What'd you do?
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
We are back here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports 1350 AM. We are here every single day of our lives from 3 to 6 p.m. Right now, we're joined by great song. Jackson's, hold on real fast before we get to you real fast. The Jackson's Victory Tour, one of the best tours ever. Girl, I want your body, you know I need your body. Okay, Cullen, are you on the phone?
Yes, I am, Jeff. I can tell you what, you guys are missing out in the studio. What a game. Arlington squeaks by Pauley 1-0. Probably the soccer game of the season to date.
Stop it. So what was the score you said?
1-0. It doesn't get much better than that.
That sounds horrible. Who scored for Arlington?
A guy named Tito. We have an interview with him that will be on the Inland Sports Channel as well as on Riverside TUD. He talks about that feeling when the ball rippled the back of the net and Arlington took the lead, which they would end up hanging on to take the W.
So were guys crying after the victory? Was it one of those emotional times where guys are carrying each other on their backs, or was it just like, hey, good game, good game?
No, it was pretty emotional. Let's just say during my interview with head coach Kevin Watson that the players all came up and they jumped on his back while in the middle of the interview, just really excited for Arlington.
So now, what does that do? Does this mean that Arlington wins? Pretty much is in command of the league.
This all but gives the Lions the league title.
Wow! So the German twins from Riverside Poly couldn't pull off the upset at Arlington, is what you're saying?
Absolutely. They've got 3 league matches left, but if they play anything like the way they played today, they'll be just fine. They'll wrap up the rest of the league, and then I bet you, mark my words, they're going to make a pretty deep run in the playoffs. And you know what? I'm actually in the Poly parking lot right now. I'm a little hesitant to say all the good things about Arlington, but Poly as well played well. Remember, the score was only 1-0. Poly's got a good team. They can get in. They can make a long run as well.
Yeah, don't be worried. You're in Poly's parking lot. There's nobody there that can hurt you. Trust me, I'm a Ramona guy. You go to Ramona and you talk about Ramona, they'll hurt you. At Poly, they'll just go over and they'll slap you with their white gloves. That's what I remember. They will slap you with the white gloves because they are the Poly Bears, the nicest people in the world, but not very tough.
So was this an incredible exhibition of football on the pitch?
Come again, Tim?
Was this an incredible exhibition of football on the pitch?
Yes, it was. Football on the pitch. They were marking their men. They were keeping a strong back line. It was just a brilliant display on the pitch.
Thank you. Brilliant was what I was looking for, and I appreciate that.
Okay, the next question is, how many red cards were handed out?
None. There was a yellow card.
Ooh, what did they do?
We were halfway there.
What was the yellow card for?
I believe somebody tripped someone else.
Did you just say somebody tripped somebody?
Hey, man, this is soccer. We have a higher level of respect and integrity for each other in this game.
Do you not watch the MLS and what is the big one, the Manchester U? Have you ever seen those guys? Somebody gets, like, they touch them and they fall down and they act like they're dead.
La Liga.
La Liga.
Jeff, I do not watch that stuff. All that stuff is just plays second fiddle to this stuff here in the IE. We've got some really good soccer, including Arlington and Poly, who just faced off.
Now, Cullen, I have a serious question for you. Who's your favorite soccer team outside of Arlington and Poly?
Outside of Arlington and Poly, that's easy. Carnegie Schools, Riverside.
No, I mean like La Liga or professional, like Manchester U or Pumas, or who do you like?
My favorite non-high school soccer team is the U.S. men's national team, Tim. Okay. Other than that, it's all about the high schools in the IE.
Because I'm kind of a Chivas guy myself.
Are you really?
Yes.
You know
if I had to pick an MLS team, I'd go Galaxy simply because they're the closest to us. But other than that, I prefer what the soccer we got going on in the IE.
Okay.
You know what? You are honestly like Captain America. Cullen, we can't frazzle you. We can't get you to. But you're not the onion that we were hoping we could peel back the layers and learn something about you. You are Captain America. You have the shield. You say nothing but what you're supposed to say, and you're the nicest young man I know. And I love you, Cullen Holt.
You're an incredible onion, protecting yourself against all chance of people who try to peel you.
Don't listen.
I love you too, guys. You guys are the best.
All right, that's Cullen Holt. Calling it from the pitch, Arlington 1, Riverside Poly 0.
Hey, say more good things about me because I'll be listening, all right?
All right, I'm going to say wonderful things about Cullen Holt. Cullen Holt, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause. Now, I believe we're going to be hearing from our next soccer pitch in just a moment. Pep Fernandez will be dialing in. I think he had a pretty big game. He was calling. How about you, Tim?
Did I have a big game?
No. Are you a big soccer fan?
I'm learning how because at a place I work called Citrus Hill, we have many soccer fans, and they're trying to educate me in the nuances of soccer.
And the nuances of this, is this the great Pep Fernandez from another soccer pitch?
Oh, man, soccer all the way around.
Well, I don't know if you just heard, but Arlington defeated Poly 1-0 in a nail-biter, a barn-burner, a high-scoring affair in that great league. How was your game?
Not as good as Cullen's. Stan Gorgonio ran away with a 4-0 victory. We saw some good goals, some good goal scoring. But what I'm concerned with is, did Cullen refer to Poly versus Arlington as the battle for Middle Earth? Did he say that at any point?
He did not say that. We tried to really, we tried really hard to mess with Cullen, but like I said, he's like Captain America. You can't even ding the surface. We tried to get him to find out who his favorite. Who is it? Oh, you know what he said his favorite woman of all time is? Mary
His favorite what?
His favorite woman of all time. If he had his bucket list of a woman he could stand on an island with, do you know who he picked?
Who?
Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, you know what? That's not a bad pick, but it's kind of old school, but that's okay.
She's 85, Pep.
Well, you didn't say like today.
Well, that's what I got. I got the fact that he likes older women, 80-plus-year-old women. He likes grandmas, great grandmas.
He must tune into the Golden Girls.
He loves Blanche, Sophia, and Rose. How about you, Pep? I know you're a married man, but we were discussing a hall pass. If you could be on an island with anybody beside your wife, and we love your wife, we're talking any 80s, 90s television, movie, who is your go-to girl you look at and you go, oh, she's really pretty? Who is it?
You know what? I would say probably my biggest crush growing up was Faith Hill, the country music singer. Faith Hill.
Faith Hill. You love the country music.
Really?
Yeah, he has. Do you have a pair of ropers at home by any chance?
No, you know what? When I was on the farm, I wouldn't wear cowboy boots. I just wore like the big work boots with the steel toe, and I'd wear jeans. And then I was that guy that'd take my T-shirts and I'd cut the sleeves off so I could have the guns out. That was my normal attire on the farm.
Hey, we just looked at. Hey, there's a picture of Greg. Of course, you know he's Mr. Instagram. He just pulled up a picture of Dawn Wells today, and she's standing right next to our favorite person in the world, Darth Vader. And she looks pretty good for like 95.
Hey, if you're rolling with Darth Vader, it's all good.
Yeah. So you used to go sleeveless?
Yeah, I'd go sleeveless. I'd have a ball cap on, usually a Mets or a Michigan hat.
Yes.
And cut off the sleeves, blue jeans, and my work boots, man. Get in there. Stop milking cows.
But your arms are like wet noodles.
No, man, I was pretty bummed, believe it or not.
So, Pep, are you on your way back to the studio?
Yes. Jeff, what's in the rundown? What's in the rundown right now? Let's do this. I'm ready. Let's talk.
Okay, ready? Let's
get real. I want some substance. This is like eating cereal for dinner. I want the steak. I want the real stuff.
Okay, do you know that today they announced the All-CIF selections? And did you know that we had Coaches of the Year and Players of the Year in the Inland Empire that topped the list?
Yeah, you know what? If you go out and win a CIF Southern Section championship in football,
what the CIF will normally do is they will find the coach of the year and normally the players of the year on that championship team. So when a team wins the CIF Southern Section title, it's a big deal, and they like to reward those teams. So we had a total of 3 teams, 4 if you count Big Bear, but 3 teams here in our inland sports coverage area on Fox Sports IE that won championships.
Yeah, and we also had, just look at the coaches. We're going to go down the list. The Division III Coach of the Year is our friend Jeff Steinberg out of the Rancho Verde. Then you had the Offensive Player of the Year. Go ahead, Tim. I know you want to say his name.
Xavier Gorgie.
Yeah, and he's only a junior in that list. So he's got another year to pile on the awards and accolades.
Yeah, he's a stud. Rancho Verde had so many good skill position players. So you'd have to assume when the CIF Southern Section was doing the voting for this, you could have went probably in a lot of different directions for the Offensive Player of the Year in Division III. But for Rancho Verde, it was tough. Think about all those great receivers like Josiah Richard Lewis. There's some great players, but you had to pick one. So Gorgie's a great one to pick.
Yeah, and then Defensive Player of the Year was another Rancho Verde stud, DeLawrence Green, the senior defensive line.
Yeah, again, you can't go wrong with the Rancho Verde guys, especially considering that St. Francis, the team that beat Citrus Hill in the previous round, I believe it was the quarterfinals, Rancho Verde was able to come back and exact some revenge against St. Francis, because a lot of people said that St. Francis, they were going to run away with the Division III championship, which we obviously know it didn't happen because Rancho Verde won it with a game-winning field goal.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other inland players on that first team in Division III. A couple we've already mentioned. Some we've seen. Jonathan Jefferson from Citrus Hill, a great running back. The Wildcat quarterback, I should say, who was the MVP of the greatest game of all time, Jim Clover's All-Star Game. You had Brock White from Rancho Verde, Josiah Richard Lewis, Jason Rodriguez of Oak Hills, Luis Santiago, the kicker, the sophomore who was the hero of that CIF championship game, Jackson Turner. We had Deshaun Dorso of Citrus Hill, Jeremiah Wilson, and Jalen Hunt, all local guys in Division III. So a very good year for the Inland Empire guys in Division III.
Yeah, you mentioned Jackson Turner. He's that star point guard for Coach Brandon Baker on that Rancho Verde boys basketball team, who now has the inside track on the Inland Valley League title. Jackson Turner is like a modern-day Bo Jackson, just a stud at everything.
Yeah, in fact, he was just offered a scholarship to go to UC Berkeley. We heard from Brandon Baker at the UC Irvine game earlier in the week.
Yeah, Jackson Turner can ball out super fast. Great kid. In fact, we saw him at the basketball game for UCR at UC Irvine as part of the team down there. And, he's only a junior, too. We get to see him for another season. He's big time.
Yeah, let's go down to Division IV. Our guy, the Inland Sports Mr. Football, Jaden Daniels, was the Offensive Player of the Year, the junior quarterback who threw for more than 1 million yards this year. Probably the best quarterback in the state of California going into his senior season.
Yeah, if that was the biggest, there's not a bigger no-brainer out there than Jaden Daniels as the Player of the Year in Division IV. His stats are absolutely ridiculous. Over 5,000 yards through the air, 62 passing touchdowns, 15 touchdowns on the ground, almost 1,300 yards rushing. I've never seen a season like his. And the fact that they won the section championship in D4, there was no doubt about it. He was your guy.
Yeah, and the Coach of the Year in Division IV, that's a no-brainer. Nick Rogers, Mr. Game of Thrones himself, the best beard in high school football, and he just had himself one of those amazing seasons as a coach.
Yeah, you know what's special about Nick Rogers, and I'm glad he got Coach of the Year in Division IV, is the fact that he played at Cajon. He's a Cajon alum. So the fact that he was able to go back to his home school and take Cajon back to a championship, something they hadn't done in 30 years, that's pretty special. Think about it, Jeff. It'd be like you going back to Ramona and leading the Rams to a CIF Southern Section title.
Yeah, that'll never happen. It's a good thought, though.
Exactly.
But hey, a couple other guys in that first team from in Division 4. We always talk about him. Darren Jones, the great wide receiver, the junior, and everybody's All-American Jeremiah Martin out of Cajon. Who knows where he's going to go? But those two guys are tearing it up on the basketball court and did the same on the football field.
Yeah, they're both freakish talents, and I say freakish in the most affectionate way because they are mismatched nightmares. Like, I saw Jeremiah Martin in basketball this past week against A.B. Miller, and, like, he didn't even belong out there. Like, it just did not even seem fair. And it was the same thing on the football field. I mean, how did he get 32 sacks this year? Like, 32, that's incredible. So, and then Darren Jones, I mean, the guy went viral this year. Like, people are saying, whoa, he's 6'8", 6'9", and he's a dominant receiver. Like, yeah, we knew that. We were covering him all season long, but it took about, I'd say, 3/4 of the season when the rest of the world caught on and said, oh, wait, Darren Jones, man, he's a stud. He went viral. All his highlights were popping up on Twitter and Max Preps and all those different social media platforms. Like, he's a big deal, too, and he's only a junior.
Well, there's a whole bunch of names peppered throughout the Inland Empire on that Division 5 team, but we're going to go down to Division 6. We had our Defensive Player of the Year. Division 5, a Defensive Player of the Year, Stephen Bradshaw, the senior linebacker out of Paloma Valley High School.
Yeah, and I love that one, Jeff, because when you think of Paloma Valley, you think of offense. You think of touchdowns. You think of high-scoring, high-octane offenses. You don't necessarily think of defense first. So for Stephen Bradshaw to win this award, it really says that Coach Tello down there and that Paloma Valley team made a concentrated effort to bulk up on the defensive side of the football. And it just goes to show that Bradshaw had a big year for Paloma Valley. And I'm glad he's getting rewarded because Paloma Valley, they made it to the semifinals in Division 5. They didn't go all the way, but they made it to the semifinals, and it was enough to get the attention of the rest of the division.
And then, of course, our boy Chance Nolan, my favorite quarterback of the Inland Empire. He was first team All-CIF in Division 5, and a lot of other great players from the Inland Empire as well. Let's go down to Division 6. We had Chris Malesio, my guy out of Norte Vista High School, was the first team running back, and Elijah Hall, the San Gorgonio running back, the junior, who was an amazing player as well.
Yeah, San G, they won their league, but they lost in the first round of the playoffs, kind of like Novi. You know, they both had great years the previous year, and the expectations were really high. Like, the bar was really high for Norte Vista and San Gorgonio. But to be fair, both those schools, the Braves and the Spartans, they lost a lot. I know Novi was decimated. San Gorgonio, all their big star skill position players and all three of their star linebackers, they all graduated. So for the fact that they had guys make the All-CIF and still have a good season this year, I think it speaks volumes to the coaches there. Coach McClure, his first year at San G, and, of course, old Kenny football, Kim Batdorf at Novi, to keep that thing going, even though they didn't have a lot to work with.
Yeah, Kim Batdorf had to replace 20 starters off that CIF finals team and only brought back Eric Malesio, or the younger Malesio, I should say, and Chris Malesio. And yeah, he's got another year, another great player. Well, let's go. I know we got a couple minutes, but let's go through. Tyler Algier was first team All-CIF in Division 8 out of Kaiser High School. He had the most yards per carry of anybody in San Bernardino. A very good player there. And then you had the Offensive Player of the Year in Division 9, St. Brandon Rankins, Mr. Football, Mr. All-World from Aquinas High School.
Yeah, straight from the bowels of the Vatican, they took that vote. Again, like Jaden Daniels, that was a no-brainer. Like, if he wouldn't have got that award, I would have given up on high school football. He rewrote the record book in San Bernardino County at Aquinas High School, number 2 all-time in the Inland Empire. Plus, they went the whole way. They won the CIF Southern Section Championship. So that was an easy pick to have St. Brandon Rankins as the D9 Player of the Year.
And to kind of round out this list here before we get to the break, Jordan Brusick, great coach out of Aquinas, had himself the best year of any coach in Aquinas history.
Yeah, we found out he's a big hockey player, too. I didn't know this. He loves his football and went back to Aquinas High School, a place where he went to school. He played quarterback for Aquinas. Went back, kind of like Nick Rogers. You go back to your school, you lead them to a championship. And so they take a lot of pride in that, restoring the tradition at the school that they went to.
Yeah, and also I forgot I left out the co-defensive player of the year, Marcellus Gooden, as well. So that'll round out our list of great players in the IE this year, kind of putting the bow on the high school football season until we get to that signing period in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, it's next Wednesday, Jeff. I'm going to be in Hawaii with UC Riverside basketball. We're going to have you break down signing day.
I will be there with bells on.
Good.
Well, Pep, we're gonna take a break here, and we'll be right back. Hopefully, you'll be in studio maybe for the last few minutes of the show, and then you and I are gonna head out to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, my buddy.
Tonight?
Tonight! As soon as the show is over, we're packing up in your.
Oh man!
We're gonna get in your little bitty car, and I'm gonna basically squeeze myself in, and we're gonna drive up, and I'm gonna talk your head off for the next 4.5 hours.
Is the car going to be as big as the room you're sharing?
No, I asked for a small room, and I'm
a single
bed, buddy. Be ready to be spooned.
One twin bed.
All right, Pep.
You guys are laughing.
Yeah. Well, Pep, we're going to let you go. We're going to take a short break, and we will be right back with the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports 1350 AM.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to.
or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united. Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hey, Mom. Why is the sky blue? Why don't animals talk? Why do dogs have wet noses? Why is an 11 pronounced 1T1?
Kids ask a lot of questions,
Why do I have a belly button?
but you don't have to know every answer.
Why is the ocean salty?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
Why are there 50 states?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
Why is pizza round?
They just need you. For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Prepare ship for light speed. No, light speed is too slow. Light speed too slow? Yes, we're gonna have to go right to ludicrous speed. Ludicrous speed.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
I wanna take you Bermuda, Bahama, come on pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego, baby why don't we go to Jamaica, off the Florida Keys.
Hey!
There's a place called Kokomo, that's where we wanna go to get away from it all.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports 1350. We're listening to Kermit Frog sing one of the all-time favorites. Tim Hatch, what are you doing over there? Stop singing like Kermit the Frog.
I love Kermit the Frog.
Who's your favorite Muppet?
It's got to be Kermit. Has to be Kermit. No, wait, no. I'm going with Sweetums.
Sweetums!
The really big giant one, because nobody can mess with Sweetums.
Sweetums. I'm Sweetums. Hey, we have a big game coming up. It's not in any of the cool places that Kermit's singing. It's in Minnesota. You know what's going to happen in Minnesota this week?
The big game.
The big game called Super Bowl 52.
52?
52.
Super Bowl's almost as old as I am.
It is? You're older than the Super Bowl. Jim Hatch is older than the Super Bowl.
Dang it, why did I say that? I don't know why I said that.
Hey, if you did your age in Roman numerals, what would it be? Do you know your Roman numerals?
I'm not very good at them.
I don't think anybody knows their Roman numerals.
What's a 50? What's the symbol? L?
A.
So I would be L.
LL?
B.
No.
LV. Right? V. Yes, I'd be LV.
Kono's a smart guy. He's got a master. He's getting a master's.
Smart. You do?
But he's going to Cal State Fullerton, so I don't know how smart that is. My wife graduated from Cal State Fullerton, and she's not real bright sometimes.
I don't know. You're right. Yeah, we've had some conversations.
It's like this. When she talks to me, I go, it sounds like this.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, we love old Carla Smedberg. She's our
Gotta love her.
God, we love her. We have some great Carla Smedberg stories between Tim and I. We can't say on the air because they're just too funny.
I respect her totally.
I do too. Hey, we got Super Bowl 52. You know Tom Brady's in his 8th Super Bowl appearance?
Yes. Did you know?
No, don't go to your notes. Stop that.
I'm not. This is the note. This is a brain.
Okay,
thing.
go ahead, your brain.
Despite all his wins, he is not in the top 10 ranked quarterbacks and quarterback rating in the history of the Super Bowl.
Is that true?
Absolutely.
Where did you get that stat? Did you read it or did you just make it up?
I looked it up. Go ahead, look it up. Look it up.
Hey, do you know how many? Okay, without looking, do you know how many Super Bowls the Eagles have played in?
This would be their 3rd.
No. Brady is in his 8th Super Bowl appearance.
Did you just say the Eagles?
I said Eagles. Yeah. I said Brady's in his 8th.
Okay.
What do you think the Eagles are in? What? How many have they been in?
They've lost 2.
They've been in their 8th as a team. So Tom Brady, in his almightiness, is tied.
Eagles.
I know, but listen, Tom Brady is tied with the Eagles for a franchise of 8 as a team. Did you know that? Did you know that New England is going for their 6th Super Bowl and Philly is going for their? Do you know how many they have? That's going for their 1st. Did you know that?
Yes.
Tim? You did not.
Because they lost 2.
They're going, but the Eagles have 8 as a team. They've been in it 8 times.
In the Super Bowl.
That's what it says right here on my notes.
I think you're wrong.
With 8 as a team.
I think you're wrong.
Pep Fernandez is never wrong.
Look it up. It's wrong.
Okay.
They lost to the Raiders and they lost to New England.
What?
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah.
Are you
a few years
sure?
ago. Yeah, look it up.
Did you know? Okay, who are you picking to win?
I'm not picking anyone. I'm playing a pool.
No, come on. Who do you pick? Who's your go-to?
Got to go with New England. Have to.
Why?
You can't go against Brady Belichick. Can't. Especially with a week and a half, 2 weeks to prepare.
You think? Are the Philly fans going to throw batteries? Are the Philly fans going to throw batteries at New England?
Yes, I did that when I lived in Detroit at outfielders who would catch fly balls.
You did not. You were a battery chucker?
And I threw change, too.
You did not.
I hit Gorman Thomas with one.
Gorman Thomas, you did not.
Center fielder, Milwaukee Brewers. Sure did. And I was proud.
What kind of battery?
It was a nickel, actually.
Oh, it was a nickel? It wasn't a D battery?
I ran out of batteries.
Did they really throw it back in Detroit?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
No joke.
The old Tiger Stadium. Yep. You did not want to be near that right field porch.
Yeah.
That was all bleachers. That was $1.50 a seat. Who do you think can afford $1.50 a seat? People who threw batteries. Because they spent the rest of their money on things to throw.
Hey, I have a good one for you. We're at Montana and when I was at BYU.
The Grizzlies?
Yeah. And it was really
Against
cold.
the Cougars?
The Cougars. Okay, listen, stop. It was so cold outside and they had those little hand warmers that, those metal ones that have like a chemical in them to make it really hot. Sterno is what it were. They would put the quarters and put change in them and heat them up and get them red hot. And you would walk out from the tunnel and they would drop them on you.
Hot change?
Hot change. And one went down the back of my shirt and got lodged in my underwear, and I had a blister on my butt. A huge blister on my butt. I couldn't sit down, and it went all the way through my clothes. That's how hot it was. It burned, seared through my clothes.
What year was this?
90.
1990.
Yeah, you were like 47 at this time.
Yeah, I was like 28 or so.
Hey, Tom Brady's going to be the oldest QB to win the Super Bowl. Do you really think he can do it? Or do you think Nick Foles? I'm going all.
I'm still looking for the stat where you said Philly was in their 8th Super Bowl.
I was just going by with what Pep Fernandez was saying.
I don't see it.
I
think Pep Fernandez is always right.
Pep Fernandez.
Pep Fernandez would not steer us wrong.
With his Super Bowl appearances?
So I see New England going for their 6th, Philly for their 1st. New England's wearing white. 12 of 13 Super Bowl winners wore white.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
Pep, you're back.
The only time New England lost when they had the white jerseys, Jeff and I talked about this. Drew Bledsoe was the quarterback. It wasn't Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Don't put that on Tom Brady, Mo Brady's brother. Don't put that on him.
I looked up a statistic today I was preparing for the show.
You did?
And Tom Brady is not in the top 10 in quarterback ratings of Super Bowl quarterbacks.
Really?
Yes.
But he wins.
That's the bottom line, right?
That's the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
You can have your stats.
They get off the slow starts, and then he leads the charge to victory. There's some names in there that are pretty famous. Roger Staubach.
Yep.
Joe Montana was number 1.
He's got to be.
That's your favorite.
That's my guy. He was on my wall. I had a little starting lineup figure.
Bart Starr.
Yep.
He was in that list.
You remember watching him, right? Bart Starr's old, by the way. He's real old.
Tim Hatch in his 20s was watching Bart Starr.
You're like, I was in.
Hey, we hung out once.
Third year in college. You remember watching Bart Starr?
Did you?
No, not third year in college. We went out drinking one night.
Oh, okay, well.
Did you know?
Us and Paul Horning.
Did you know that Tim Hatch is older than the Super Bowl?
Is he? Super Bowl 52.
He's older.
So Tim Hatch is
He's 50,
older.
He's a senior.
Whoa, Greg, put your hands down. Oh, okay. I thought Greg was putting numbers up how old I was.
He does not have enough fingers for that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
Whoa, he can use toes, you know.
Hey, I have a game for you guys coming up here after the break, just for a quick one. I've been planning today to see who knows the best or knows the most mascots throughout college. Are you good at mascots there, Pep Fernandez?
I'm wonderful.
He says he's the best in the world.
Really?
Yeah, I'm top 10.
I have a game.
I'm ranked in the top 10.
I was top 25 once. So
yeah, he told me he called me today. He goes, I know every college mascot in the country.
I believe I did not say that, and you called me.
Well, when we come back, I'm going to put you two to the test to see if you know your college mascots, and we will see who the champion is between Pep Fernandez.
Bring it on.
Let's go.
I'm ready to do this.
And
Let's dance. I'm your Huckleberry.
And the fossil, Tim Hatch. When we come back on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports, 1350 AM.
Help! I've been deported. I'm in Tijuana. Javier, can you hear
Jesús está en Tijuana.
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the Inland Sports Show.
So you talk to the radio?
On Fox Sports IE 1350 for breaking news, exclusive interviews, and big-name guests in the IE.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Get a head start on your career while earning money to pay for college. Log on to NationalGuard.com to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the California Army National Guard. Aired by the California Broadcasters Association and this station.
Whether you're making updates to existing properties or building new construction, Lowe's has savings for pros. Get up to 30% off appliance special values, including great brands like GE. That's up to 30% off washers, dryers, refrigerators, and more. Plus, save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit account. See the Lowe's Pro Desk for more details. Appliance offer valid 1/25 through 2/7. Credit offer subject to credit approval. Can't be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
Howdy, folks. Colonel Sanders here to tell you about KFC's $10 chicken shares. They're perfect to share with those special people in your life. Choose from 6 pieces of my Kentucky Fried Chicken, 9 extra crispy tenders, 12 hot wings, or a bunch of popcorn nuggets. So grab your buddy, your cousin, your dad, your college roommate, or my friend Joan, and head to KFC. Are you there yet? Okay, good. Now get to sharing and eating. KFC's $10 chicken shares. It's finger-licking good.
At participating KFC's only. Hot wings not available at all locations. Prices may vary. Tax and substitutions extra.
Running low on the stuff you need? Time for a Target run. We're here for all the big moments and the little ones too. Like when the game's on at your place. Kick it off with Doritos on sale 2 bags for $4.
every answer.
Why is the ocean salty?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
Why are there 50 states?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
Why is pizza round?
They just need you. For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is a guided meditation on parenting. Find a relaxed position to let go of the time you left your daughter's blouse in the dryer too long and it shrunk 4 sizes, or when you donated her private diary to the public library. Deep breaths.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is a guided meditation on parenting. Find a relaxed position to let go of the time you left your daughter's blouse in the dryer too long and it shrunk 4 sizes, or when you donated her private diary to the public library. Deep breaths.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Adam Rodriguez. Did you know that today 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic? That means many of the future doctors, engineers, scientists, and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. Many support you, and the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. Learn more at hsf.net. Brought to you by the Hispanic Scholarship Fund and the Ad Council.
From the Cold Star Ice Studios, it's Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM, KUBE, Riverside.
What's happening, hot stuff?
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
All right, congratulations to Tim Hatch. He is your mascot champion, but I want a rematch at some point.
All right, will do.
That was close.
You like that
5-4. Yeah, I did like that, Jeff.
I might do some high school ones for us.
Oh, Inland Empire.
I can do it.
Let's do it.
Yep.
That'll
you better
be
I'll just say Hawks for every
Hawks.
There's 5 of them.
There's a lot. Broncos, Mustangs. One of them, right?
Braves.
Hey, so tomorrow we're going to be live at Cal Poly doing the Inland Sports Show right before the UC Riverside at Cal Poly basketball game. Here's the question. I want to put it out on Twitter tonight, and we'll talk about it tomorrow, Jeff, when we're live there at Cal Poly.
Okay.
So I told my wife, hey, I'm going to Cal Poly, and she's like, oh, Pomona? I said, no, I mean, like, of course not. We're going to Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, Cal Poly.
Slow.
Cal Poly. She's like, no, Cal Poly's Pomona. I'm like, no, Cal Poly.
The original.
Cal Poly.
The OG.
Well, she is an Inland Empire native, and she swears up and down that when you say Cal Poly around the Inland Empire,
that's true.
People assume it's Cal Poly Pomona.
They do.
I would have to concur.
Really?
Me too.
Is that true?
Yeah. She's got you on that one.
She did?
Yeah.
She got me?
Yeah. Hey, you know what they are? They're the Broncos.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No. I went to Cal Poly.
Oh, at Pomona. Yeah, Pomona.
Yeah. Huh?
When the Clippers summer camp, when the Lakers were in Hawaii, under Larry Brown, the Clippers went to Pomona.
Did they for training camp?
Was this in like the 30s?
No, this was when they had laces on the basketball.
Tim's the only Pistons fan I know that's excited about the Blake Griffin trade. We got a picture with him. We're going to put it on Twitter. It's actually pretty funny.
Boy, his head really swelled.
He's got a big head about this trade. We'll just say that. At Inland_sports. Go check that out on Twitter. We'll get that up in just a matter of minutes. We've been brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. You'll be spoiled by great customer service and the lowest prices. You can check them out off Alessandro Boulevard. We love you, Bill Navigado. Ken Sporting Goods, more than 40 years in the Inland Empire, bringing you all of your sporting gear needs, plus Letterman's jackets, and they'll bling it out too. They'll make it look real fancy if you like fancy stuff like Jeff. KenSportingGoods.com. Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass and his team bringing experience and passion and commitment to grooming great athletes, even the new overtime program for the younger athletes going into high school. And make sure that you check out their strength and speed class. The first one is always free if you say Jeff Gorham.
Free!
Jeff with a G, like gee off.
Like the giraffe.
And finally, Catalano Motors in Corona off Temescal Canyon Road. Buy, trade, finance at CatalanoCars.com. That is the website. Go check that out. They will meet your expectations and go above them. They are committed to excellence, just like Derek Carr and the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Tomorrow, live from Cal Poly, And we're efforting some special guests, right, Jeff?
We are.
Like the head football coach and our IE guys who play football at the Cal Poly.
Hey, those guys are fired up to see us tomorrow.
They are? They want to see us?
They're going to come over and hang out with us.
They're going to hang out with us?
Yeah. And then we're gonna get Sue. And then we're gonna get Sue Boyd's gonna call in tomorrow. She's gonna talk about the Women in Sports Conference going on Monday with Cheryl Miller.
Cheryl Miller from Riverside Poly.
Greatest basketball player in the history of the world.
It's gonna be big time. It's tomorrow, 3 o'clock, live from Cal Poly, the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We'll see you tomorrow.
You can't take away my dignity. Because the great asset.